Every achievement, every record broken, every standing ovation, every proud moment is a product of an empowering relationship. At CBZ, we believe in the strength of partnerships and growing together. Together, we have collaborated in building roads, offices, homes, and bridges. We have partnered in the fields, have gone down shafts and blasted quarries, all while protecting assets, managing investments, safeguarding wealth, and helping you transact. We have supported big and small businesses and the ones in between with a helping hand or sound advice. As we celebrate what has been, we look ahead towards what can be. And while we can count how long we have been around, our achievements will always be quantified by your success. CBZ.
Zimbabwe Insurance Brokers Limited is a household name in the insurance and risk management consultancy field. We boast of a large client base across the whole spectrum of industry and commerce, with over 35 years of providing innovative, flexible, tailor-made solutions to risks to individuals and corporate. Since our formation in 1985, ZIB is one of the largest locally owned insurance brokers and a pace setter in the market. ZIB is the first and is currently the only ISO 9001-2015 Quality Management System QMS certified broker by the Standards Association of Zimbabwe, SAS. Our competencies lie in a wider branch network, with offices in Harare, Bulawayo, Butare, and Masvingo. We have a diverse technical skills base, together with quality customer service standards to provide you with a peace of mind. Get all your motor insurance, property insurance, liability policies, farming, cyber insurance, engineering insurance covers. We also offer consultancy medical aid covers with a COVID benefit hospital cash plan, group life assurance, group funeral schemes, and group pensions. In our world and wherever we are, ZIB means insurance broking, employee benefits consultancy, and risk management. To get a free quote, contact us on WhatsApp on +263 779 335 865 or +263 71 506 8216 or email us at zib@zib.co.zw. You can also get us on the web at www.zib.co.zw.
Today's world is unpredictable. Feeling safe with your home and business premises is important. Guard and Security Services are offering you trained, equipped, and supervised guards. more information, contact the marketing team on +263 772 612 715 or +263 772 166 142. You can also email us at marketing@guardianzim.com.
Lifetime Media wishes to congratulate the class of 2021 on this prestigious achievement. The journey has already begun. Go out there and be the change you wish to see. You are Africa's future. Shine on.
Concrete Masters, the Civil and Construction, Project Management, and Plant Hire Specialists. We are the experts in civil and construction engineering, project management, plant or equipment hire. Concrete Masters delivers excellent infrastructure solutions to stakeholders across a broad range of industry sectors, both in rural and urban settings. We are committed to the sustainable development of human settlements, private and public buildings, industrial structures, and rehabilitation of worn structures. Whatever your project, we have you covered. Our project management team watches over each project as a mother watches over her newborn. Unlock the value in your land through our unique combination of design engineering, construction disciplines, and expertise. Looking for plant or equipment hire? Look no further. We have an ever-growing fleet of earth-moving equipment and trucks to provide plant hire services to the industrial, construction, and civil engineering industries. Contact us on the details on your screen. Concrete Masters, constructing for generations.
We don't always know what tomorrow holds, but with the Old Mutual Flexi Funeral Plan, you can be there for your family no matter what. You choose the type of policy that suits you best, as well as how much cover you want, and you can adjust the affordable premiums to keep up with inflation. You'll also get immediate cover for accidental death, and we pay out in just 48 hours. The time is now to be there for tomorrow. Talk to us today to find out more.
Yeah, Natasha, I've got the benefits of the Flexi Funeral Plan, but my current policy, I already have a bus, casket, and hearse. How is the Flexi Funeral Plan going to benefit me in light of this?
Thanks for that, Gerald. But do you have family overseas?
I've got a loved one in UK and another one in South Africa. How does it help me?
A cash plan can help you meet the cost of repatriation.
To come to think of it, it's something that is really worth considering.
It can also help you cover outstanding medical or hospital bills.
Really, Natasha? How does that work?
In the event someone passes away after a long illness while admitted, the Flexi Funeral Plan can help cover those costs.
That's a very interesting benefit that is worth considering.
The truth is, Gerald, there's always a need for cash when a funeral occurs.
I think you are right, Natasha. I'm interested in the Flexi Funeral Plan. So how do I sign on?
Now you can even register on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp? How does that work, Natasha?
Yes, you can save this number 0777 227 227 and just say hi.
This sounds really easy.
Yes, it's very easy.
Good day to you all. It is indeed a great day to witness this occasion, the 2021 graduation ceremony at the Africa University. Congratulations to the Africa University for adding this leaf to your already very strong and very rich heritage. Pulling it through to this milestone under the COVID-19 conditions is by no means a small feat, and that's for both the university and the students. On behalf of the Old Mutual Group, I would like to say well done to the graduating class of 2021. Well done too to the Africa University. Makorokoto Amhlope. Our relationship with the Africa University spans over 20 years now, and we are proud of that fact. In the year the Africa University is turning 29, we are still with you. We remain committed to being your certain friend in uncertain times as you nurture and develop African leaders of tomorrow. To the graduating class, as you cherish the fruits of your hard work, I wish you all success. Continue to do great things every day. Makorokoto, congratulations, Amhlope, and thank you.
Effective intellectual property systems spur the innovation that drives human progress. IP education fuels that progress. Government officials benefit from studying how to design and run effective IP systems. Innovators and entrepreneurs need to learn how to use them. The WIPO Academy was created to meet those needs and has become the world's foremost provider of IP education and training, with a focus on developing countries, least developed countries, and countries with economies in transition. The Academy has welcomed over 500,000 students since its establishment in 1998. It offers 4 programs: distance learning, professional development, university partnerships, and summer schools. The distance learning program is the only one of its kind in the world, providing IP courses in 10 languages. With hundreds of e-learning course sessions available each year, all aspects of IP are covered for both advanced professionals and novices. The Academy manages the largest international program of specialised IP training for government officials. This means more education and better systems to protect and encourage innovation and creativity. The WIPO Joint Masters Programme immerses students in high-quality postgraduate courses through partnerships with the world's top universities. The Academy's summer schools provide a unique opportunity for students, young professionals and government officials to deepen their knowledge of IP. And the WIPO Academy also stands out in its efforts to promote access to education for women. There are equal numbers of male and female participants across its courses. With demand for IP education and training increasing all the time, the WIPO Academy is working with WIPO member states to build lasting national solutions. The Academy helps countries build their own national IP training centres and adapts its courses to their needs. It balances its efforts carefully between partners and regions and redirects scholarship funds to support universities in increasing access to IP higher education. With support, involvement and insight from WIPO member states, the Academy's offer is constantly evolving, ensuring that its impact and accessibility are maximised in the ever-changing global digital society. IP education doesn't stay in the classroom. It comes alive in the innovation, creativity and technical progress that we see around us every day worldwide. The WIPO Academy is here to help you develop your potential.
The new Chancellor of Africa University, Bishop Gaspar Joao Domingos, and his wife, Mrs. Domingos. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Good morning. My name is Hiroyuki Kumagai, and I am the Charge d'Affaires at Intel at the Embassy of Japan in Zimbabwe. Congratulations to all those of you who are graduating today, I would like to take this opportunity to say a few words on behalf of the government of Japan, which has been providing scholarships to the master's degree in intellectual property program through the WIPE Japan Fund in Trust. The WIPE Japan Fund in Trust was established by the Japan Patent Office in 1987 to support human resources development in the field of intellectual property. In this regard, the aim of the MIP program is to develop future leaders who are committed to incorporating IP into the economic as well as science and technology spheres in their respective countries. So, this scholarship program is not only to support you, the student, but also to support your countries and the people in your countries to achieve economic growth through development of the IP field. The economic development and bright future of your country rest upon your shoulders. I hope that you will play an active role in various fields, including in the field of IP. And I also hope that you will all act as a bridge between your countries and Japan. As I conclude my remarks, I would like to once again extend my heartfelt congratulations on your graduation and express my appreciation for all the staff of Africa University and your families for supporting you throughout your studies. Thank you very much for your attention.
Congratulations to you, the 13th cohort Masters in Intellectual Property program. You are now officially intellectual property professionals. We celebrate with you and appreciate the good work you have invested against all odds. Please go out there and be a Ripple IP system ambassadors. Make impact. Promote acquisition, utilization, and commercialization of intellectual property rights in your country. All the best.
Welcome, Olandiridwa, Karibu, Bienvenue, Bemvinda, Amohele Hile, Mauya, Siyalamukela, Kirolu, Murakaza Neza, Akwaba. Hello, Africa and the world. This is the day, the inauguration of the 5th Chancellor of the Africa University and the 27th graduation of the class of 2021. 524 graduates, 24 African nations, Angola, Botswana, Burundi, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Cote d'Ivoire, DRC, Ethiopia, Eswatini, Ghana, Kenya, Liberia, Malawi, Mozambique, Lesotho, Nigeria, Rwanda, Sao Tome Principe, Sierra Leone, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. One amazing campus. 2021 has been a year like no other. We have mourned, we have endured, we have triumphed, and today we celebrate our class of 2021. Congratulations, Makorokoto Amhlope. Felicitations, Parabens. Africa University, investing in Africa's future.
I have the honor to request the chair of the Africa University Board of Directors to constitute this congregation as an installation ceremony of the 50th Chancellor of Africa University.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me and that of the Africa University Board of Directors, I declare this congregation duly constituted as the congregation for the installation of the 5th Chancellor of Africa University.
Let's pray. O Lord, our Father in heaven, we thank you for your blessings at Africa University. As we gather together in celebration with the grace that you so generously provide for us, we give thanks to you, Lord, for the graduating students, for the colleges, for the staff members, and to all our partners and all who have contributed to this year of nurturing and growth. We have gathered once again, oh God, to celebrate another year of accomplishment in togetherness as a community. We recognize the times of struggle. It wasn't an easy year. We wept and we mourned. We recognize times of difficult work, and we continue, Almighty God, to surrender to you for your transformation and renewal so that we continue to labor in love, sowing seeds that will find fertile soil in Africa and in the world at large. Bless, Almighty Father, the inauguration and the graduation proceedings before us today. You will lead and guide us, Lord, as we continue in the blessings of this day. I pray all this in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stephen Chikojo. I'm the Director of Advancement and Public Affairs. It is my distinct honor and privilege to acknowledge the officials, dignitaries, and guests joining us for this 27th graduation ceremony of Africa University. I will begin by acknowledging the presence of the Chancellor of Africa University, Bishop Gaspar João Domingos, and his wife, Mrs. Domingos, both from Angola. The Chairman of the Africa University Board of Directors, Bishop Dr. Mande Muyombo from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Acting Vice Chancellor of Africa University, Reverend Professor Peter Mageto. Guest of honor and keynote speaker, Dr. Michael O. Ogwekwe, who is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Methodist Le Bonheur Health in the USA. The Honorable Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Professor Dr. Amun Murwira. Manicaland Minister of State of Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Noktula Matsikenyere. The Permanent Secretary of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, and who is also Emeritus Vice Chancellor of Africa University, Professor Vanyo Tagwira. Chief Mutasa and representatives of the traditional leadership. Various members of the diplomatic corps. The resident bishop of the Zimbabwe Episcopal area of the United Methodist Church, Bishop Aben Niwatiwa and Mrs. Niwatiwa. General Secretary of the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry, the Reverend Greg Beckwist. Members of the Africa University Board of Directors. The Vice Chancellor's Executive Cabinet, starting with Interim Deputy Vice Chancellor Professor Pamela Machakanja. Associate Vice-Chancellor Dr. Jim Sally. Registrar, Mr. Herbert Njonga. Librarian, Dr. Rosemary Maturure. Interim Bursar, Mr. Richard Chihoa. Director, Information and Communication Technology, Mr. Richard Fordson. The Academic Senate. Zimbabwe Council for Higher Education, ZIMCHE, CEO Professor Kurinetsa P. Nzvimbo. The Honorary Degree of Doctor in Business Leadership, Honoris Causa recipient, Mr. Shingi Mutasa. Vice-Chancellors and representatives from other higher and tertiary education institutions. Please allow me to give a special recognition to our sponsors, partners around the world, and friends of Africa University. The Student Representative Council President, Mr. Michael Aikendu. Africa University staff and students. Parents and guardians of our class of 2021, our class of 2021 graduating from 24 countries across Africa. Our over 10,000 strong alumni from more than 31 countries across the continent. Distinguished invited guests, thank you all for joining us for our class of 2021 graduation ceremony.
I have the honor to invite Bishop Dr. Mande Muyombo, the Chair of the Board of Directors, to present Bishop Gaspar Domingos for installation as the 5th Chancellor of Africa University.
For the cause of Christian education of men and women of Africa, I present Bishop Gaspar Joao Domingues, who is a dedicated churchman, scholar, educator, and administrator, to be inducted as the 5th Chancellor of Africa University. Bishop Gaspar Joao Domingues, you stand in the presence of this community to be inducted into the office of Chancellor of Africa University, a position to which you have been duly appointed by the Board of Directors of this university. In assuming this position, you become the custodian and overseer of this historic Africa University. Therefore, I admonish you, present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed and rightly handling the word of the truth.
With God's help, I will.
To maintain your position of leadership and to advance the university to ever higher levels of achievement, you must exemplify the highest standard of culture, scholarship, and wisdom. Therefore, let your heart hold fast my word, keep my commandments. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and in all you getting, get understanding, says the Lord.
With God's help, I will.
Successful leadership will demand that you make decisions based on knowledge, that you be firm but fair, that you be just but kind. Remember, therefore, the words of Apostle Paul about love. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. It is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices in the right.
With God's help, I will.
Under your direction and care, will come students from Africa and other regions. It will be your obligation and privilege, both directly and through the people you oversee, to inspire within those who serve our great institution the highest levels of achievement and devotion to ideals that may see them become worthy citizens and spiritual leaders of tomorrow. Again, remember the words of the Apostle Paul to Timothy. Hence, I remind you to rekindle the gift of God that was within you. For God did not give us a spirit of timidity, but a spirit of power and love and self-control.
With God's help, I will.
Bishop Gaspar Joao Domingos, while you serve as Chancellor of this university, the shadow of your influence will fall across the paths of many people, faculty and students, members of church and community, and many others. Pray that your shadow, like that of Simon Peter, may bring much health, healing, and harmony to those who esteem you and those who imitate you as you are an imitator of Christ.
With God's help, I will.
As the chair of the board of directors of Africa University, it is my privilege to present this medallion to you, Bishop Gaspar Joao Domingos, as a symbol of the continuity of that ideal, as all here today pledge themselves to join with you in upholding and promoting that vision. By the authority vested in me as chairperson of the board of directors, I declare you, Bishop Gaspar Joao Domingos, to be the 5th Chancellor of Africa University. I confer upon you all the rights and privileges of your office and charge you with the responsibility of administering wisely and to the best of your ability all affairs of this institution, so closely related to the United Methodist Church, in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now have the honor to request you to deliver your inaugural address.
Greetings to you all. All protocol duly observed. I am humbled by this great honor that has been bestowed upon me by Africa University. It is indeed the voice of God we hear when we are called to serve others. It's my sworn oath to the Africa University Board of Directors who saw it fit to appoint me to the university staff and student whom I shall shepherd, to the alumni, stakeholders, and the partners that I shall foster, and to the future student whose journey has not yet begun with us, that I shall stand with and for you. I shall be the institution ambassador, extolling the virtues of this great university. I shall share our vision for the creation of the Africa we all dream of creating through excellence in education, relevant and impactful research, and the nurture of the next generation of Africa leadership. I came into this role after the devastating and untimely loss of our dearly beloved brother and friend Bishop John Yambasu, who was taken away from us. We will miss him. These past 2 years have been a time of painful loss for our university, our community, and our families. We also lost our Vice Chancellor, Professor Munashe Furuza, in January this year. Many of us at an individual level have also lost loved ones, siblings, relatives, spouses, friends, and colleagues. But we do not and we must not despair when those we hold so dearly within our hearts are called to glory. It is an opportunity for us to cherish the time we were blessed to enjoy together, to take the wisdom they bestowed up unto us, and live lives of honor and integrity, befitting of the memory of our loved ones. Most importantly, it is a time for us to be thankful to God for bringing these people into our lives. The rain of loss has fallen heavy in our valley of dreams, on our continent, and in our world, but the bud of new hope and optimism spring eternal. As the Chancellor of Africa University, I'm extremely proud to be counted among and to be added to the honor roll of chancellors that have come before me. Bishop John Yambasu, Bishop David Yemba, Bishop Nkulu Ntandantambu, and the Bishop Emílio Júlio Miguel de Carvalho. They were peace builders, educators, healers, and the leaders' reflections of the values that these institutions stand for. Their love and the passion for Africa University was the foundation upon which our trademark philosophy of Ubuntu was built. It is my sincere hope and the prayer that I serve you as honorable and selflessly as they have. Africa University continues to defy the odd and grow from strength to strength. That we are able to break new grounds and transform lives in the manner in which we do is not of our own doing, but it is by the mercy and the grace of God, who blessed us richly, and the like-minded development partners and the friends who share a common purpose, that is to see the betterment of society and the empowerment of Africans from all walks of life, creeds, and religions. Let us hold dear these most special values that make us a university with a difference that is steeped in a rich culture and the history of service to humanity. I eagerly look forward to working with and alongside you as we take our university to greater height. I entreat each and every one of you to renew and reaffirm your commitment to Africa University and to the continent of Africa. The only means through which a home can grow is through the work and the dedication of the children of that household. Our future Our destiny and the welfare of generations to come rest with us and nobody else. The continent of Africa is our to uplift and also our to destroy. Let us work hard to achieve the former. Others may turn their backs on the continent, but we, as the sons and daughters of Africa, can never do so. As our allowed school motto says, we must invest in Africa. This university has begun the race, and the task to finish it rests with us. With the over 500 graduates going out into the world today. To the class of 2021, though you are departing while I'm beginning my tenure, remember Africa University and all she has helped you to achieve in your time here. My prayers are with you and your families. Go forth bravely in the knowledge that the future belongs to you and the possibility of what you can become are endless. To your families and the guardians, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to you for sacrificing so much for your children. May you be richly blessed as today you share in their accomplishment and are honored through this celebration for all that you have done. Thank you. God be with you all, and God bless Africa. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now have the honor to request the Honorable Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Professor Dr. Amon Muruera, to present his congratulatory message.
The Chair of the Board of Africa University, Bishop Dr. Mande Myombo, and the board members of Africa University. The Acting Vice Chancellor of Africa University, Reverend Professor Peter Mageto, and senior staff. I would like to heartily congratulate Bishop Gaspar Joao Domingos on his installation as the 5th Chancellor of Africa University. Bishop Chancellor sir, you are coming at a time when we are transforming our education from education 3.0 to education 5.0 for purposes of developing Zimbabwe, Africa, and the world. I would like to pledge the government of Zimbabwe support to you, sir, and Africa University, and pledge that the government of Zimbabwe will continue to give Africa University the necessary support as stated in the statutory instrument that gave rise to Africa University's being in Zimbabwe and at this location. Once again, bishops and the 5th Chancellor of Africa University, I want to pass my hearty congratulations and wish you the best of times during your tenure, and that the government of Zimbabwe will be supporting you in every endeavor to make sure that we make a better Zimbabwe, a better Africa, and a better world. Congratulations, Makorokoto, Amhlope, I thank you.
Africa University Board of Directors, honorable guests, faculty, and staff, the graduating class of 2021, and family and friends gathered here today. I am honored to offer congratulations and blessings to the new Chancellor Bishop Gaspar Domingos, during his service of installation. Bishop Domingos, the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry, is grateful that you have accepted the duties and responsibilities of the Chancellor of this great university. And we are proud to reaffirm our historic collaborative partnership with Africa University now and into the future. As you assume the mantle of this high office, you stand on the shoulders of the chancellors who preceded you, a continuing community of courageous leaders who embodied a deep and abiding faith, theological clarity, scholarly gifts, and personal integrity. This community of leaders will support you and surround you as you accept the role of chancellor on behalf of Africa University and the United Methodist Church. They pass on to you an internationally renowned institution of higher education that exemplifies a holistic and transformative process of intellectual engagement, spiritual and character formation, and of course, leadership development. Core spiritual values and rich faith traditions that, rooted in our Methodist and Wesleyan heritage, are truly shaping and reshaping Africa and the world, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. In your role as the Chancellor of Africa University, I pray that you will embrace and witness to these traditions and values in all of your constituent relationships in Africa and around the world. Please cultivate them, nurture them, and harvest them into the next generation of lay and clergy leaders who will embody an engaging intellect, a mature spirituality, rigorous morality, and a transformative leadership that will guide the church in the academy and the world into a bold future. Bishop Domingos, I believe that God has called you into this role for this time and in this place because of your demonstrated commitment for developing and empowering people for the sake of the church and the world. You understand that we, United Methodist leaders and educators, exist to encourage and develop the God-given dynamic human potential, what we call the beloved community of Christ, that will work for and with the communities, institutions, and all people around the world in order to create better places for all people to live. The board of directors and the staff of the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry, and I as the General Secretary, will support you in your new role as the Chancellor of Africa University, and we reaffirm our commitment to be a vital and articulate advocate for Africa University and the variety of ministry settings in which we journey together, fulfilling God's call to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. Bishop Domingos, Chancellor, may God bless you and sustain you on this inspiring and challenging journey into the future. Amen.
Bishop Joao Gaspar Domingos, congratulations, parabens, makorokoto, amhlope, for being installed today to be the Chancellor of this great university, Africa University. You come into service as an experienced fellow. You are well renowned in doing business well. And we are really saying to you, parabens, congratulations. May the Lord richly bless you and lead you and guide you as you move on in this mission and this ministry, the ministry of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, to serve, leading this great institution in Africa, which was seen by those who came before us to say this institution is going to be in Africa. Brother, Bishop, well done for accepting this challenge. Congratulations, parabens.
Mr. Chancellor, say, all protocols observed. On behalf of Africa University workers, I am extremely honored to extend warm congratulations to Bishop Gaspar Joao Domingos on his inauguration as the 5th Chancellor of Africa University. Dear Chancellor, sincere congratulations on your inauguration as the 5th Chancellor of Africa University. We would like to offer our most sincere congratulations upon your assumptions of your new position and responsibilities as Chancellor of Africa University. The Africa University Workers Committee pledged to support you in all your endeavors and looks forward to make Africa University a premier university that is globally visible in knowledge generation and technological innovations. We are confident that you will be able to inspire and lead the university towards its goals of developing productive citizens and leaders in Africa, as well as continuing to strengthen the bonds of friendship, cooperation, and professionalism that will unite our stakeholders, students, and staff alike. May your future at Africa University be filled with success for you personally, your management team, and the university. And may the Almighty grant you wisdom, good health, and vision to accomplish the tasks ahead. Mr. Chancellor, I wish to congratulate you on your inauguration as the Chancellor of Africa University and recognize in advance the significance of the contribution you will make in this position to this university and the people of Africa. Once again, accept our hearty congratulations, and we wish you God's manifold blessings as you take up the mantle of leadership at Africa University. God bless you. Thank you.
Good morning, class of 2021. Acting Vice-Chancellor Professor Peter Mageto, Interim Deputy Vice-Chancellor Professor Pamela Machakanja, the Registrar Mr. Herbert Njonga, the Dean of Students Mr. George Miti, the Deans of various colleges, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor and pleasure that I stand before you this morning to congratulate Bishop Gaspar Domingos on his inauguration as the 5th Chancellor of Africa University. The book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 33 reads, "But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." Bishop, it is indeed clear that the Lord has and shall continue adding unto you. And as we continue to navigate through the confines of the COVID-19 pandemic, we look forward to your leadership. Once again, on behalf of the entire student body and the entire SRC executive, allow me to say congratulations and welcome to the family. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the pleasure of acknowledging messages from partners, stakeholders, and friends who wish you well on this auspicious occasion. First, the United Methodist Church Council of Bishops, Bishop Tracy Smith Malone of East Ohio Conference, Mr. Daniel Zaranyika, the Chairman of the Africa University Zimbabwe Development Committee, Mrs. Sarah McKinney of the Stocksdale UMC in North Carolina, USA, Mrs. Evelyn Chikwana, United Methodist Church, Zimbabwe East Conference, Mr. Junior Mutangwa from the Biomedical and Training Institute in Zimbabwe, Mrs. Elaine Jenkins of Jenkins Law, Reverend S. Rollins of the Africa University Development Office, the Catholic University of Zimbabwe, Mrs. Rubimbo Chitagu, Delta Beverages Zimbabwe. We also acknowledge those individual members of staff from Africa University who have sent forth prayers and messages.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and that of Africa University Board of Directors, I declare this congregation for the installation of Bishop Gaspar Joao Domingues as the 5th Chancellor of Africa University closed.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to request you to constitute this congregation as a duly constituted graduation ceremony.
By virtue of authority vested in me and that of the Africa University Board of Directors, I declare this congregation of Africa University duly constituted as a graduation ceremony.
the Chancellor of Africa University, Bishop Gaspar Joao Dominguez and Mrs. Dominguez, the Acting Vice Chancellor of Africa University, Reverend Professor Peter Mageto, the guest of honor and keynote speaker, Dr. Michael Ogweke, President and Chief Executive Officer, Methodist Le Bonheur Healthcare, the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Honorable Professor Dr. Amon Muira, Manicaland State Minister of Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Nokutula Masikinyere, the Permanent Secretary of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Professor Fanuel Tagwira, Chief Mutasa, and other traditional leaders here present, senior government officials here present, members of the diplomatic corps, the resident bishop of the Zimbabwe Episcopal area of the United Methodist Church, Bishop Ibn Niwatiwa and Mrs. Niwatiwa, members of the Africa University Board of Directors, CEO Zim Chair, Professor Kuzinesa Peter Zwimbo, Vice Chancellor of Sister Universities here present, members of the Africa University Cabinet and Senate, the Honorary of Doctor in Business Leadership, Honoris Causa recipient Mr. Chingi Mutasa, distinguished guests, donors, friends, and partners, parents and guardian of our class of 2021, the Student Representative Council President Mr. Ike Michael Ndu and the entire SRC executive, Africa University staff and student, our alumni from across Africa. Dear graduating class of 2021, I want to start by congratulating you for having made it this far. We are gathered here to celebrate yet another milestone in the history of the university. It is our 27th graduation ceremony. As we celebrate this day, we need to take this time to reflect on where we have come from. When the country and the world went into lockdown at the beginning of the year 2020 as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, it was impossible to anticipate that we would be here today celebrating your achievement with family and friends. A special thank you to management, faculty, and staff who shepherded you during the most difficult times of the pandemic. Your graduation would not have been possible if, as an institution, we have folded our hands and waited for an end to the pandemic. Instead, we took a bold decision to move all teachings, learning, and assessment to our virtual teaching and learning platform. With your dedication, perseverance, and support, the result is a second virtual graduation. I know a number of you were motivated to complete your studies in time, as was seen by your flexibility and adaptation to the new normal. But I want to say to you today that motivation alone was not enough. Discipline was paramount. As we send you off today, I share with you the words of the retired Top Gun pilot David Burke, writing for the Business Insider, said, "In real life, when fear, fatigue, and doubt set in, no speech can provide the motivation you need to keep going. The only thing you can rely on is discipline. Discipline provides a template for what employers identify and develop in their employees. More than any other quality, discipline is what drives a person to succeed when faced with diversity. And that's what the real world is, adversity. Furthermore, discipline drives you to do the work you don't enjoy, but it is required. Discipline conquers fear. Discipline keeps you going when your curiosity, motivation, and excitement evaporate. While motivation is a good quality to possess, it is not as important as discipline. It takes consistent self-discipline to master the art of setting goals, time management, leadership, parenting, and relationships. Let me advise you that if you don't make consistent self-discipline part of your daily life, the result you seek will be sporadic and elusive. It takes a consistent effort to truly manage your valuable time. Without it, you will be consistently frustrated. Your time will be spent by others whose demands are stronger than your own. It takes discipline to conquer the nagging voices in your mind. The fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of poverty, the fear of a broken heart. It takes discipline to keep trying when that nagging voice within you brings up to the possibility of failure. It takes discipline to admit your errors and recognize your limitations. The voice of the human ego speaks to all of us. That voice tells us to magnify our value or accomplishment beyond our actual result. It leads us to exaggerate, to not be discouraged, but to stay focused and disciplined. Congratulations. Makoro Koto.
Bonjour. Bon dia. Greetings to you all from the School of Hope in the Valley of Dreams. I welcome you all to this year's graduation ceremony and congratulations to the class of 2021. We are back with another virtual commencement because the pandemic has not permitted us to gather and celebrate your achievements face to face. This year sees our 27th graduation ceremony, a day we celebrate and honor each one of you. As you graduate today, you will be joining over 10,000 accomplished Africa University alumni. While we acknowledge that the global pandemic has kept us apart, I am glad to say this did not affect our academic endeavors. Through the support of the Board of Directors, management, faculty, and staff, your flexibility and agility to adapt to change, we have learned together, we have grown together, we have overcome together. Your resilience and relentless pursuit of your academic goals is today recognized. You have made it. We are proud of you. I know this is not how you imagined your graduation day could be, like when you enrolled at this institution. And there is nothing better as congratulating students face to face and hand over a diploma and say, well done. We can't do that, but I can say, well done. All those you love and those who love you get a front row seat as they watch you graduate. I know you could have loved to be celebrating this day on campus with classmates and friends in familiar places. That day will come. For now, be content to celebrate this day whenever and wherever you are with those who cheered you on and cheered you up. Those who gave hope when there was none. Those who have sacrificed so much for you to be here. It is your family and loved ones sitting next to you right now that made your journey bearable. I hope you take a moment to reflect on the journey that you have traveled, considering what you sacrificed and what you gained, the successes and failures, and consider where you are headed. This day is meant for you and will be yours to cherish forever. Remember that Africa University is not just a school, but a metaphor for academic excellence and intellectual achievements. We are not just a university in Africa, but a truly Pan-African institution grounded in the philosophy of Ubuntu and our Christian values. The diversity in our students and staff, reflected by the nationalities graduating today, makes us who we are, true Pan-African institution. Today is historic in the sense that we are holding our second virtual graduation, where 524 graduates will be awarded undergraduate and graduate degrees. And more importantly, we are graduating the first cohort of our Bachelor of Science Honors degree in Social Work, the Bachelor of Science Honors degree in International Relations, Master of Education in Educational Technology Studies, and Master of Science in International Relations and Diplomacy. Africa University has been offering fully accredited online programs well before the pandemic started. Today, we will witness the graduation of the first cohort of the Bachelor of Science Honors in Computer Information Systems, which was taught completely online from start to finish. Can we interest you with another AU degree, 100% online learning? As we look into the future, ZIMCHE has approved a number of exciting undergraduate and graduate programs that are set to be launched in August this year. The year gone by had these opportunities and challenges. While we were waiting to welcome you on campus this past semester, a second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic hit us hard as we lost our fourth Vice Chancellor, Professor Munashe Frusa. We also lost Mr. Mandefu, our security officer, Mr. Zabanda from the Fleet and Facilities Unit, and Ms. Delight Dube from the library during the past year. These are colleagues who touched us by their service and energy to succeed. We remain in prayer with our staff and students who have lost their loved ones during this period. May their souls rest in eternal peace. On a positive note, the university has been involved in cultivating and nurturing a number of cooperations and partnerships. Special mention goes to WIPO and ARIPO for their continued support of the MIP program, Clavering University for development of the Joint Master of Science degree in Power Technology and Climate Change, UNICEF for their support on the sexual and gender-based violence and harmful practices, the USAID for the insectary mosquito research, which has resulted in the registration of a patent, and the Africa University Farm Development Trust through the commissioning of a tilapia fish project. Class of 2021, it is pleasing to note that Africa University students through the Innovation Hub were invited by a US-based company in partnership with the Computer Society of Zimbabwe to participate in an hackathon. The AU team won prize money and at the same time qualified for Track 2 Global Competition, where they competed against 8 other teams drawn from the US and Bangladesh. On the academic front, let me take this opportunity to thank the Board of Directors and Management for their forward thinking that resulted in a seamless transition to online teaching, learning, and assessment. The university is now using blended learning technologies to go beyond transactional functions to provide a more holistic approach that enhances each student's experience and outcomes. We are aware that online teaching technologies options are everywhere and are rapidly evolving. And as Africa University, our long-term vision is to provide the right tools and resources that will enable our students to compete on the global arena. As Africa University, we believe that the ability to attract and engage students depends on scalable teaching and learning options that our students can access anytime, anywhere, in and out of the classroom. Thus, Africa University continues to embrace personalized learning, competence, and outcome-based assessments. Finally, I want to congratulate the graduates who are being conferred with degrees today. As you celebrate your graduation, always remember that the industry will not just respect you because you have a degree from Africa University, but will honor you for bringing a new tune of innovation, creativity, originality, and the creation of the industrialized community that will immensely contribute to Africa's Vision 2063. For this to happen, as Enon once said, Pay attention to your thoughts because they become your words. Pay attention to your words because they become your actions. Pay attention to your actions because they become your habits. Pay attention to your habits because they become your character. Pay attention to your character because it is your fate. Congratulations, Makorokoto, Pongezi sana. I thank you all. Honorable Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, I have the honor to request you to deliver your speech.
The Chancellor of Africa University and the Africa University Board, the Vice Chancellor of Africa University and Class of 2021. I would like to express my congratulations at your successful completion of your studies. The government of Zimbabwe places great importance to education. We believe education is the only tool that we can use to transform this world into a better world that is free of poverty, free from hunger and disease. To this end, the government of Zimbabwe is involved in the deep transformation of our education. From Education 3.0 that was based on 3 missions, teaching, research, and community service, to Education 5.0 that is heritage-based, which includes innovation, industrialization. It is my wish that as you go out into the world, you will employ the knowledge and skills that you got from Africa University for the betterment of yourselves, for the betterment of your families, for the betterment of Africa, and for the betterment of the world. It is therefore our legitimate expectation that your time at Africa University gave you enough skills and knowledge to be able to contribute to this world so that it becomes a better place for all. It becomes a world that has a reduced disease burden, that has reduced poverty levels, that is moving towards prosperity. Once again, I want to congratulate you at your success. I want to congratulate you for having been a good example of how to complete studies and how to be good citizens. Citizens of this country, citizens of Africa, citizens of the world. Once again, congratulations, Makorokoto Amhlope, class of 2021. Be good citizens. Be good citizens of the world. I thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to introduce the guest of honor and the keynote speaker of the 2021 graduation ceremony, Dr. Michael Oweke. Dr. Oweke is the President and the Chief Executive Officer of Methodist Labona Healthcare. As a visionary healthcare executive, he leverages business acumen, financial discipline, and strategic innovation to advance performance of diverse healthcare organizations. Over the past 20 years, he has designed and launched game-changing initiatives that deliver on revenue, growth, expansion, and quality targets in Memphis, Tennessee, United States of America. Michael was named to the Modern Healthcare's 2020 honor roll of top 25 minority executives in the nation. And he recently was honored with the Balchich Foundation's 2021 Harry S. Arts Leadership Award. Growing up in Enugu, Nigeria, where his grandparents were instrumental in building his village's Methodist church, he lost a younger brother for lack of access to health care and saw a lot of people die unnecessarily during a civil war for lack of care. That led him to want to be a doctor. When he didn't have the money for medical school, healthcare administration offered another pathway. Arriving in the United States with $4,000 at age 21, he earned a bachelor's degree in biology at Shaw University, a Master of Public Health at Emory University, and became a Doctor of Health Administration and Leadership at Medical University of South Carolina. It was a remarkable rise for the soft-spoken hospital executive, but not as miraculous as leaving war-torn Nigerians and arriving in America with little more than a will to succeed and a drive to work. Michael is an outstanding strategic thinker. His background, experience, and appreciation for the myriad changes taking place in the medical fraternity made him a natural choice for the position of President and Chief Executive Officer, Methodist Labona Healthcare. Michael is passionate about what he does and sees his job truly as a calling. He sees it as something that is dedicated and committed to, and continuously and consistently try to get better at. As a healthcare thought leader, Michael is a sought-after speaker for industry conferences. He serves on the boards of several non-profit organizations, including the Tennessee Business Leadership Council, the National Civil Rights Museum, the Memphis Chamber of Commerce, and the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to invite Dr. Michael Weke, our commencement speaker, to address the class of 2021.
Thank you for the kind introduction and warm welcome, Professor Mageto. Chancellor Domingos, Acting Vice Chancellor Mageto, Chair Moyumbo, academic and senior administrative staff, parents, distinguished guests, and most importantly, graduates. It is a deep honor to speak with you on this momentous day. I wish we could all be together today. I had been so looking forward to seeing all of you in person. However, this virtual ceremony does not take away from the importance of this day and the significance of your achievement. I want to first offer my prayers to the entire Africa University community who lost a great leader in Dr. Menashe Furusa. He was a role model and a friend to so many. His life showed how much could be accomplished, how many lives could be uplifted through personal perseverance. To his wife, Dr. Zanelli Furusa, and to the entire community, please accept my deepest condolences. May Dr. Furusa's legacy live on in each of the students here today. I also want to thank my good friend and colleague at Methodist Labona Healthcare, Dr. Albert Mosley, who is also on your board of directors. Dr. Mosley has a lot to do with me being here today. I am speaking to you today from the city of Memphis, Tennessee, in the United States of America, where I have lived for so many years, and I look forward to visiting your beautiful campus sometime this year, God willing. But I will always consider Africa to be my home. I am a son of Africa, and this is the spirit of Africa University, Pan-Africanism. You have heard many times the phrase, School of Dreams in the Valley of Hope, to describe Africa University. It is a dream that we are all one, that any African can feel at home in any part of Africa, that we all feel the commonality of our glorious and ancient heritage. It is the hope for a prosperous future for ourselves, our families, and indeed the whole continent. I was born in Nigeria. My earliest years were very happy. We lived in one-bedroom home. We had almost nothing. But we didn't know what we didn't know. We didn't know that we were poor. My early days were spent playing street soccer and trying hard in school. All that changed when I was 7. Our region plunged into a terrible civil war. It set the course of my life in a different direction. I have been shaped into the man I am today, both by what is wonderful about Africa and what is tragic. I have lived almost 3 times as long as most of you. I have seen a lot. My path has not been a straight line or a flat road, nor will yours be, because no one's path ever is. This day is one of the most important milestones in your life. Very few days symbolize such a profound transition where you become something new. The day you get married is one such day. The day you become a parent is another such day. And this day is similar. When you started this day, you were students of Africa University. At the end of this ceremony, you will be graduates of Africa University. You may have a lot of emotions, and I hope the prevailing emotion you are feeling is gratitude. Gratitude for the faculty, gratitude for the administrators and staff who have helped guide you through your years as a student. Gratitude for your fellow students who you have shared moments of laughter and frustration, joy and heartache. Gratitude to your parents, gratitude to your grandparents, gratitude to your brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts, each who played a role in getting you to this point. Please remember to take a moment to thank all the people who will not receive a diploma today, but were so instrumental to you receiving yours. And while this is an important day to look back, more importantly, this is a day for you to look forward. Because with the education you have received here, your families, your village, your countries, and entire continent, and indeed the whole world is now counting on you. Each of you are now in an elite group in terms of education, in terms of your Pan-African perspective, in terms of understanding the issues that impact us all. By virtue of your experience at Africa University, each of you will have a significant influence on society and where we go from here. This graduating class comes from all across Africa. You represent 36 countries, countless dialects, tribes, and traditions. I am sure many of you would say that you have already experienced a greater diversity of people than your grandparents ever did. Africa University is a metaphor for what we all hope will be the future of Africa. This institution is multi-ethnic, multicultural, embracing new ideas, honoring the traditions of our culture, but understanding that culture are dynamic, that they can grow and move forward for the betterment of all. The education you have received here has been a blessing. It is available to a small fraction of people your age. Take a moment to think about that. Of the 1.2 billion people on the continent right now, you are among just a tiny sliver of fortunate ones to be able to come to a place like this. And you begin your journey in a continent of Africa that is rising. This continent has so much going for it. Such beauty, so rich in natural resources, and energetic and ambitious people, perfectly positioned on the globe. Africa's economies are growing and maturing. Institutions are strengthening. Africa has achieved much in this relatively new century. With mobile phones everywhere, surging internet connectivity, and improved air travel, Africa is connected to the world like never before. Millions have been lifted from extreme poverty. The middle class in Africa is growing. Public health indicators have been steadily progressing. However, there are warning signs on the horizon as well. As unfair as it may seem, your generation has inherited the responsibility of addressing the many challenges that Africa faces, just like all regions of the world. The challenges can be organized into 3 core pillars. First is Africa's health. Second is Africa's economy. And third is Africa's environment. These are the 3 pillars that make any society succeed or fail. We have nothing if we don't have our own personal health or access to health care. Our economy is what drives our entire quality of life. And our environment is our home, which makes life possible. Mismanaging any of these 3 can cause instability, political upheaval, and diminished future for all of us. We must be good stewards of all 3. As a health system CEO, I have dedicated my life to helping communities get the health care that every person deserves. Here in Africa, great advancements have been made in the fight against HIV/AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis. We have seen through these examples that progress on the health front is possible. Yet, challenges persist. Africa has a life expectancy almost 10 years lower than the worldwide average. When compared to North America and Europe, Africa's life expectancy is 15 to 20 years lower. This should outrage us all. Think of what 10 years has meant in your own life. But more important than outrage is to fortify our commitment to improvement. Africa has faced some of the worst pandemics in history, like Ebola and Zika, and now, of course, COVID-19. We should take a moment to recognize the 130,000 deaths across the continent since the COVID-19 pandemic swept the globe. When the pandemic first began, Africa's overall fertility rate was lower than most places in the world. Why that was the case is not settled science, but a younger population and possible cross-immunity from other coronaviruses are some of the obvious explanations. But now, new strains of the virus, especially the Delta variant, are complicating the fight against COVID-19. And the African CDC has warned about rising fertility rates. Of the 55 countries they monitor, 21 are reporting fertility rates above the current global average of 2.2%. Further, if you just look at patients who are already critically ill from COVID, Africa has the highest global mortality rate. And it is impacting people from all strata of society. As you know, 2 government ministers of Zimbabwe recently lost their lives to this virus. The vaccination rates in Africa are much lower than most other areas. Like every other health challenge Africa faces, it comes down to resources, trained medical staff, infrastructure, technology, and public communications. Right now, few countries in sub-Saharan Africa are able to spend the $34 to $40 a year per person that the World Health Organization considers for the basic health care. And even in the face of the widespread poverty, 50% of the health expenditures are financed from out-of-pocket payments from individuals. This is a structural issue. I don't believe that a healthcare system that is so reliant on the disposable income of the patients is sustainable. The United States healthcare system is far from perfect, that is for sure. But we do have a safety net that provides healthcare to the most vulnerable people in the population. According to the World Bank, African countries only spend 6% of their GDP on health, which is less than half of what countries with better health outcomes are spending. So the raw investments needs to be increased. Clearly, improving Africa's healthcare is vital, not just to the physical well-being of the population, but also to the second pillar, the economic development of Africa. And the economic pillar is so important, any society needs to find enough work for the growing population. Young people need to feel a sense of hope and opportunity for the future. There are very few encouraging signs on this front. For a long time, economic forecasters have looked to Asia as the next area of rapid economic expansion. But now, most experts see Africa as on the cusp of enormous economic growth. But to manage this growth responsibly, we need to manage strategic foreign investments. There are many measures which look promising. A growing middle class with increased consumer consumption. That's good for business, which in turn leads to more employment. Because of this opportunity, we see the enormous influx of foreign capital coming into the continent. But Africa cannot let its future be mortgaged by the temptation of short-term capital, 100-year loans, or the use of imported laborers instead of Africans. We cannot allow a passive recolonization to occur. Foreign investment can be a very good thing, but it must be managed. It will be up to your generation to make sure this foreign investment is sustainable and not a short-term fix. Third, our natural environment. It's easy to focus all our attention on healthcare and the economy. Human beings evolved to be short-term focused. And your physical and financial well-being are very acute human needs. But all of humanity is facing a moment of truth when it comes to our natural world. And if we mismanage our environment, it can cause problems for the first two, health and the economy. It would be up to your generation to finally steer us in the right direction. And the stakes are very high for Africa. We are among the continents to be the most impacted by climate change and the desertification that climate change brings. Deforestation is another concern your generation will need to contend with. rapid urbanization and population growth, and the still widespread use of wood for cooking are clearing too much of our forests. Your generation will also need to contend with water scarcity and air pollution. To be sure, these are not exclusively African problems, but they are problems that exist in Africa. So, with all this opportunity, with the future of Africa in your hands, a big question presents itself. What role are you going to play? This is a question that goes well beyond your chosen field of study. Yes, some of you will become business people. Some of you will become lawyers, educators, politicians, or civil servants. Some of you might work in agriculture or the science or healthcare. Some of you will enter one profession, but then change course. But when I ask, what are you going to do? I am not asking, what are you going to do for a job? You will each be successful in earning a living. I have no doubt about that. But know that you are more than a professional with a career. You are a citizen with a responsibility to move the course of society forward. You are the future of Africa. So what I'm asking is this: what are you going to stand up for? What type of example will you be? What injustices will you stand up against? What values will you stand for? Just as Dr. Furusa stood up for education, Pan-Africanism, and this institution, what will you stand for? Africa needs you more than ever because the Africa you're entering is at a crossroads. And Africa needs its young people to make sure we take the right road. How your generation navigates those obstacles will make all the difference in what Africa looks like when you are an elder in the twilight of your life, many decades from now. With this education, with the perspective you have learned, this will be your time. So, as you now embark on your adult life, what will you stand up for? Will you stand up for Pan-Africanism and against toxic tribalism? So much of the pain Africa has faced is because we haven't seen each other as brothers and sisters. We saw each other as others. I have felt this very personally. The division between us that has for too long plagued Africa altered the course of my own life. As I referenced earlier, in 1967, a civil war broke out in my country. The people from the southeastern part of Nigeria were being marginalized, and they wanted their independence to create their own country called Biafra. Everything I knew completely changed. My life was turned upside down. We became refugees, moving from one refugee camp to another. The conditions were harsh, and it was disorienting to me as a young boy to go from normalcy to chaos in a very short period of time. During the war, death was everywhere. We witnessed a lot of carnage. Kids were starving from malnutrition. In one refugee camp, my younger brother, Emmanuel, became sick. He had diarrhea and couldn't retain fluids. There were no doctors and no hospitals to take care of him. I watched my one-year-old brother die right before my eyes. And what was it all for? That civil war that was essentially between two tribes of people For what cause did Emmanuel die? For what cause did 2 million other souls die? And we don't have to look to our past to see tribalism. The Cameroon Civil War has killed thousands and displaced more than 180,000 people. And we all know about the tragic recent histories in Ethiopia, Liberia, Rwanda, and Somalia. For what? There are those who blame tribalism on post-colonial boundaries that force different communities to live within artificial borders. This argument leads to the belief that every ethnic community should have its own territory, which in turn promotes ethnic competition. But that is looking at the problem through the lens of tribal identity. That assumes that we all will always identify first with our narrow community or ethnicity or language. But the identity we should wear most prominently and proudly is African. It is up to your generation to move us forward and tear down the irrational barriers that divide us, that keep us from seeing ourselves as one. Here at Africa University, it is easy to live these values. But I hope you will take this African identity home with you. I hope you will share the spirit you've gained here with family, loved ones, and colleagues. Be ambassadors for this movement in all the small ways you can, through your actions, through your words, and in your conversations. I am not suggesting that we abandon the traditions. Traditions are essential for our well-being, our way of life, and grounds us to our legacy. But traditions can also be a cop-out. We must cherish our heritage, honor our history, while equally being open to new ideas and embracing new ways of thinking. Pan-Africanism is exactly that. It is about celebrating our traditions, but in solidarity and unity. Pan-Africanism is the Zulu of South Africa, is the Karo in Ethiopia, the Himba of Namibia, the Maasai of Kenya and Tanzania. It is the Shona of Zimbabwe. It is the Igbo and Yoruba of my own country. If every generation can strengthen the notion of the proud African tradition, we will accomplish a lot. I also want to ask, will you stand up for institutions and good governance? Nothing will position Africa for prosperity and growth than strong rule of law and democratic values. Where institutions and governance are weak, corruption thrives and precious resources are squandered. Every society has certain people and groups who hold political power or economic power, or both. This is not by itself a bad thing. Every society needs leaders. But the key is to ensure that the powerful are beholden to institutions, constitutions, and the rule of law. Africa's future depends on continuing the good progress that has already been made to support political, academic, and judicial institutions. But this progress can be lost just as surely as it has been gained. The United States has been a democracy for a long time, but we still face challenges to keep institutions strong and democracy vibrant. And to be sure, democracy and rule of law can mean different things to different societies. Models of government should be culturally appropriate, aligned and sensitive to the values of the particular culture. But the broad principles of democracy and the rule of law are universal. People's desire for free and fair elections, freedom of speech and assembly is unavoidable. Africans, like people all over the world, yearn for dignity and control of their destiny. It is up to your generation to keep pushing freedom forward. Commit yourself to be a lifelong champion of democracy, as imperfect as democracy is. I also want to ask, will you stand up for the rights and inclusion of women? One of the best indicators of whether a society will succeed is based on the empowerment of their women. You can tell a lot about a society by how it treats women. Virtually every society on earth has a terrible history on the subjugation of women. My mother, Martha, was always a strong woman, but she grew up in a time where opportunities outside the home were close to her. She made me who I am. Even though she was not educated herself, she fiercely advocated for the education of her children. But while she had an impact on me and my siblings, she was never able to see where her talents could take her in the wide world. When women are fully engaged and involved through education and empowerment, all boats rise. The glorious future of this continent will depend on the empowerment of our women. Let's lose the archaic traditions that have kept women from reaching their potential. We have role models to point to. Women like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Africa's first democratically elected woman president from Liberia. Women like Miaza Ashanif, the first female Chief Justice of Ethiopia. Women like Miriam Makeba, Mama Africa, who did so much to shine a spotlight on the evil of apartheid. Graduates, I implore you to dismantle ancient prejudices against women and be a major champion for inclusion of women in businesses, governance, leadership, to create the new Africa that we all want. I also want to ask, will you stand up for development, not westernization? As I said before, I am a proud son of Africa. In my own life, I have experienced firsthand all that makes us love Africa. I was formed as a boy by our African heritage of family, community, of the rich traditions of music and dance and food, and people taking care of each other. As Africa continues to develop under the leadership of your generation, it is important that Africa not lose its soul. Too often, development is implied to mean westernization. Those in developing countries are encouraged to seek validation from Western culture, and we are seeing the effects of this. A growing killer on the continent is heart disease and diabetes, which have always been Western diseases. We must not let fried foods from fast food chains replace healthy, plant-based nutrition. Heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States, and diet has a lot to do with it. That is not the kind of westernization we want. As someone who has now spent most of his life in America, I can tell you that there is no culture that is perfect. I idolized America when I was a boy, but when I went there for college and began taking public health courses, everything I knew about America changed. I was exposed to parts of America that I did not know existed. Pure, abject poverty, unimaginable health inequities, systemic racism. Minority communities in the US have higher rates of chronic disease and premature death. The mortality rate for Black infants is almost 2.5 times greater than it is for white children. While more than 70% of white families own their own home, less than 44% of Black families do. The future of your generation should seek is not a mirroring of Western culture, but enhancing the quality of life within the context of the African culture. Your generation can lead this continent to a place where it takes what is good, but avoids what is bad about Western culture. Allow me to leave you with some words of wisdom. First, there are many paths to the same destination. I take you back to that moment in the refugee camp where I watched my younger brother, Emmanuel, die from lack of medical attention. In that moment, I decided that I wanted to be a medical doctor. I wanted to help people beat disease and stay well. I did my undergraduate work in the United States, but then couldn't afford medical school. A professor recommended that I look into public health. Here I found a path for myself where I could help entire communities get well. Today, I don't have patients. I have the entire community of Memphis to take care of. It is my job to make sure that the people, equipment, and training are in place to take very best care of hundreds of thousands of patients we serve every year. I get as much satisfaction from the work I do today as I think I ever would as a physician. So, my advice to you is to stay true to what you believe is your mission in life. But know there can be a number of different routes to get in there. Second, you have more power than you think you do. Always remember that you have the power to change the world. Deep, lasting societal change happens through the professional and educated class. Change usually does not come from those in desperate poverty. They are just struggling to survive. Nor does change come from the super elite. Most are vested in the status quo. Most real change happens with a professional and middle class of hundreds and thousands and millions who are organized to move forward inch by inch. Third, don't let your circumstances define your future. Many of you have grown up in challenging circumstances, but here you are today, receiving a degree from Africa University. Carry this lesson forward with you always. Life can be difficult. You will face struggles along the way. Don't let yesterday or today alter the possibility of tomorrow. In closing, let me leave you with this. Embrace the coalition of minds, Seek out people who share your values, those who see the Africa of the future as you see it. There is an old African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Together, each of you has now graduated from Africa University. Together, you will all find wonderful adventures that await you ahead. Together, you can build a bright future for Africa. Maybe one day, you'll be speaking to a new generation of young people. And I hope you will feel as proud about this new generation as I feel about all of you here today. Graduates, congratulations and thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now have the honor to request the college deans to present the graduates of the university whom Senate has certified to receive the degrees, academic distinctions, and awards of the university as listed in the program.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now present to you Mr. Shingai Mutasa for the conferment of the honorary degree of Doctor in Business Leadership, honoris causa, as approved by the Senate of Africa University. The citation on the conferment of the honorary degree is being presented by Professor Gima Meneli.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, all protocol observed. An honorary doctorate degree is among the highest honors a university can bestow, and it is reserved for those who have achieved extraordinary distinction and have contributed in a very significant but transformational ways to the betterment of our world. Recipients of the degree are eminent personalities who are endowed with the significant styles of transformational and entrepreneurial leadership elegancies. One of those eminent personalities is with us today, and he is Shingai Mutasa, the son of Zimbabwe in Mutare. Shingai is the founder of Mazawara PLC, an engaged investment company which focuses on acquiring strategic interests in companies mainly based in the East and Southern African region. In his current role, he is the Chief Executive Officer of Mazawara Zimbabwe Private Limited Company. He has been an entrepreneur all his life. Outside of the Mazawara group of companies, Shingai has sat and sits on the boards of several local and international companies, as well as educational institutions. Shingai is passionate about Africa. In line with this, he encourages Africans to invest and do business in Africa and participates in programs that advocate for the development of Zimbabwe's and Africa's future. Shingai was born on 26 November 1958 and raised in Mutare. He is a holder of economic degree from the University College of London. Having spent a great part of his youth in London, Shingai worked with his father where they were importers, exporters, and traders. Regarding business interests and investments, Shingai, you are the founder of Mazawara, an African investment company focused on acquiring strategic interests in companies based in sub-Saharan Africa, and your priority industries cover financial services, technology, property, agrochemicals, health, hospitality, and energy. Mazawara was incorporated in 2010 as a focused and strategic investment holding company focused on Zimbabwe and the Southern African region. Under your leadership, Mazawara made another successful transformation to become a company active in insurance, chemicals, health, hospitality, energy, technology, real estate, and microfinance. In your keynote address during our 2016 graduation ceremony here with us, you laid out an interesting discussions on the importance of transformations in business and society. You clearly pointed out that our African society faces several great challenges, such as climate change, decreasing biodiversity, poverty, injustice, and inequality. Even in the early days of your career, you already understood that these enormous transformations imply responsibility. Making an impact goes beyond achieving business or financial targets. For you, this implied a broader development in your thinking and personal development. Currently, Masawara is a leading regional investment company with a diversified financial services portfolio in the Comesa region. Masawara also owns the sole ammonium nitrate fertilizer manufacturing company in Zimbabwe. Masawara also operates in Zimbabwe's largest insurance brokerage house, Minerva, as well as in Botswana and South Africa. Shingai holds 60% of Zimnat General. Masawara co-owns Jonah City, a mature yielding mixed-use property in Harare CBD with more than 180,000 square meters of space with blue-chip retail and office tenant. Masawara also holds a portfolio of 5 hotels in Zimbabwe under well-known regional brand Cresta Hotels, operating 11 hotels across the SADC region. Shingai Mutasa, your economic education and experience taught you to understand and interpret the reasoning underlying why and how choices are made and how decision processes work. Combining your knowledge of economics and management, you started working at the highest level of entrepreneurship. Moreover, you are an eminent individual who has exhibited through distinction and leadership, entrepreneurship, and corporate management. With intellectual imagination, you have shaped organizations and developed a strong connection between industries, sustainable development, and African entrepreneurs, one with respect, transparency, and modesty. For us in academia, you are a shining example of modern leadership that is based on ethics, care for others, and knowledge. You are a rare and outstanding example to combine transactional and transformational elegance of leadership with scientific excellence and highest entrepreneurship. By exploring how to support individual growth and competence and explicating theories that guide action and change, you have motivated generations of African entrepreneurs to transform the practice of strategic business management and have proved extraordinary leadership. For your work, which is distinguished by a deep sense of stewardship for the development of Africa and the future of humanity, for reconceptualizing strategic business management in diverse industrial sectors, and for motivating countless young African entrepreneurs, we are humbled by your accomplishments, inspired by your example, and we hereby confirm upon you the doctorate degree in business leadership, honoris causa, together with the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree, pertaining congratulations to the new Dr. Shingai Mutasa.
Good morning, Chancellor, Chairman of the Board, Acting Vice Chancellor, Mambo Mtasa, Class of 21, all protocols observed. It is clear to me that there are many who are more deserving and worthy of this great honor that has been bestowed on me today. I therefore accept it in their honor and acknowledge with complete clarity that I am a custodian of all their great deeds. On this basis, I'd like to thank the board, management, staff, and the students for making this possible. History matters. Without clarity of the journey traveled so far, the future journey is random. In 1891, my forefather, Mambo King Tendai, signed an agreement with Cecil Rhodes that ultimately facilitated the introduction of the American Methodist Church to find a home in 1897 within his kingdom. Once settled, Tendai asked the missionaries, I believe Hatzel, to educate my grandfather and his brother. Tendai realized the future was education. Through this began the permanent relationship between us and the church. My grandfather was Masawara, the name we use for our organization today. Over these last 130 years, regardless of the political journey of which is now Zimbabwe, the relationship of the church and the Mutasa family has been strong. And the culmination of building this institution, this Africa University, bodes well for the future of our nation and the well-being of the church on this continent. One of the weaknesses in our history is that we do not build the capacity to write our own history, partly because we do not build the capacity to research our history. In this regard, we would like to work with the university to build a school of archaeology. We have to invest in our ability to test the stories of millennia past with clarity and confidence. I hope this school will become a beacon and will attract bright and inquisitive minds to this campus and lead an evolution in African archaeology. The future is critical. My vision of the next 50 years, the working life of most of the class of 21, having already gone through 40 years of my working life, I can assure you 50 years is not long. On top of this, it moves so quickly. In these 50 years, I see a major transformational change in the global economic balance. And I believe Africa will be a major beneficiary of this. As the years progress, Africa will have a very significant comparative advantage. This is our younger human capital, which will be well educated, creative, and hungry. Further, over those 50 years, the ascendancy of Africa to be a leading continent by all measures will begin to surface. This, however, will depend on the quality of leadership at all levels that we will evolve. To a point, my peers and my senior brothers, as well as I, can only help shape your futures by becoming beacons. But today is not about politics, but about the clarity that you need to have of your golden futures. To many of you still believing your future lay in overseas posts and lives, I want you to review this. I want you to correct these thoughts and realize the future is on this continent. You must ask yourselves, what role will I play in the growth path of this truly blessed continent? At Masawara, we are clear of the role that Africa University will play in this development. We're also very clear that it is not an accident that the main campus of this institution is located here in the foothills of our forefathers' kingdom. Zimbabwe has been endowed with a great historical combination of strong missionary educators and political leaders who believed in the fruits of education. This has led to Zimbabwe being well positioned with excellent human capital. We must, through institutions like Africa University, the Africa Leadership Academy, focus on building the leaders of this human capital, and that is the role you, Class of 21 must be ahead. Through our organization, we plan to work closely with Africa University in the fields of agriculture, collaborating with Sable Chemicals, tourism and hospitality, working with Cresta, insurance through the Zimnat Group, amongst other tangible relationships within the group. We further believe that the future requires an aggressive push into artificial intelligence. We would like to work very closely with the university so that over the next generation, that school, the School of Artificial Intelligence, housed on this campus, will become a leading African institution, attracting the best and global minds, the best African and global minds in this field. Through the group and our family, we promise this will be a key endowment to the university. Time is never enough for these critical conversations. So I would like to address you, the graduating class of 21, for a few minutes. By now, I'm sure you have read a host of motivational books, listened to your fair share of motivational speeches, so you probably know about hard work, visioning, enjoying the journey, believing in yourself, good luck, and so forth. But I'd like to leave you with one strong message. Know thyself. Spend time figuring out who you are, what makes you tick, what motivates you. The focus on your clear strengths and not too much time on your weaknesses. In great organizations, there will always be people better with strengths that far surpass your weaknesses, even if you do spend energy trying to improve those weaknesses. The more you understand yourself, the more competitive you will be. This is a continuous journey. As I am today, I'm actually still discovering self. But I focused on this reality for a very long time, and it has paid great dividends to me. Once again, I'd like to thank the university for bestowing us with this great honor. I would like to thank my families, the Masawara family and the Masawara group. Both work very, very hard to make me look very good, and they've contributed greatly to the man I am. And I'd like to thank you once again for this great honor. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, with the authority of the Africa University Board of Directors and Senate, I have the honor to present to you candidates whom Senate has certified as worthy to receive the Executive Master in Business Administration, Master in Public Sector Management, Master in Peace Leadership and Governance, Executive Master in Peace Leadership and Governance, Master in Public Policy and Governance, Master in Human Rights, Peace and Development, Master in Intellectual Property, the Bachelor of Accounting Honors, Bachelor of Business Studies Honors in Marketing, Bachelor of Business Studies Honors in Management, Bachelor of Science Honors in Economics, Bachelor of Science Honors in Computer Information Systems, and the Bachelor of Science Honors in Computer Science who are here today.
We would like to appreciate our partners and sponsors who provided prizes to our graduates under different categories. These are Ambassador Kolisile David Liwayo Memorial, AKG Scholarship Foundation in honor of the late Alaric Kudzai Gotora, Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, the Angolan Embassy, AU Alumni DRC Chapter, the Bere Brothers Legal Practitioners, the Beta Family, Bishop and Mrs. Ralph Dodge. The Chancellor Emeritus, Bishop Emilio J.M. and M.D. Cavajo. CMAS, Concrete Masters Private Limited. Cluster Diagnostics Private Limited. CBZ Holdings. Dr. Betty Kazadi in honor of Dr. Boniface Kabongo Ilunga. Dulles Motors Limited. E-Machines. Emeritus Reinsurance Company. Flow Cytometry Hematology in honor of Dr. M.E. Chitio. Print Solutions and Stationers. Global Papers Private Limited. Guardian Security. Harvest Medical and Scientific Company. Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe. Jimat Consultants Private Limited. Karonga Sisters. KF Photo Studios. Machakanja Family in honor of the late Dr. Isaac Machakanja. Menard Mutenerwa. Mutare Garment Manufacturers. Mutare Toyota. Nikos Diamond. Old Mutual. POSB. Professor Pamela Machakanja. Rua United Methodist Church Circuit. Schweppes Zimbabwe Limited. Shepherd Muchinguri Memorial. Shola Manuel Chupikai. Stanbic Zimbabwe Limited Bank. Stewart Bank Private Limited. Tel 1. UMC Mutasa Nyanga District. World Intellectual Property Organization. Zimbabwe Insurance Brokers. And the Office of the Vice Chancellor. And now we celebrate the College of Business, Peace, Leadership and Governance, Class of 2021, Department of Business Sciences, Bachelor of Accounting Honors. Nigel Takunda Chareka. Munyaradzi Timothy Chieza. Maggie Melissa Chikanda. Chiedza Nicola Chimuka. Nyasha Roslyn Chimurivo. Vanessa Kudzai Chiroja. Rugare Chivaviro. Malvin Damba. Nicola Duma. Shinga Nicola Hore. Vimbai Eda Inasho. Vimbai is a recipient of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Taxation. She will receive cash. And Best Undergraduate Student in Management Accounting. She will also receive cash. Kudzai Cleopatra Candiero. Kudzai is a recipient of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Advanced Accounting and Financial Theory. She will receive cash plus a miniature shield. She also receives the Schweppes Zimbabwe Limited Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Finance. She will also receive cash. Nyarai Katuruza. Kudzai Weruzani Kondowe. Graduating with a first-class degree is Chipo Yolanda Kunyarimwe. Chipo is a recipient of the following accolades: Vice Chancellor's Prizes for Best Undergraduate Student in Accounting, she will receive cash, and Best Undergraduate Student in CPBLG, she will also receive cash. Association of Chartered Certified Accountants Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Auditing, she will receive cash. Best Undergraduate Student in Financial Management, she will receive cash. And Best Undergraduate Student in Financial Reporting, she will also receive cash. Bere Brothers Prizes for the Best Undergraduate Student in Business Law and Best Undergraduate Student in Company Law, she will receive cash. CBZ Holdings Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Accounting, she will receive a floating shield plus cash. Dulles Motors Limited Prize for the best undergraduate student in the Department of Business Sciences. She will receive a floating shield. Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe Prize for the best undergraduate student in advanced auditing. She will receive cash plus a miniature shield. Old Mutual Prize for the best undergraduate student in quantitative analysis. She will receive a floating trophy plus cash. Stanbic Zimbabwe Limited Bank Prize for the best undergraduate student in accounting. She will receive a floating trophy plus cash. And Zimbabwe Insurance Brokers Prize for the best undergraduate student in accounting. She will also receive cash. Langton Macherenga, Shingai Sharon Madigi, Stephanie Tinotenda Mapuranga, Biggie Matanda, Nyasha Esther Matayataya, Catherine Maturure, Kundai Machai, Wadzanai Kudzai Midzi. She is a recipient of the Zimbabwe Insurance Brokers Prize for the most improved undergraduate student in accounting. She receives cash. Tricious Nontokozo Moyo, Munashe Lisa Munjoma, David Nyasha Mupfumi, Carol Tanaka Murerwa, Lindsay Munashe Mushonga, Shama Tinotenda Mutangadura, Tapiwa McMenard Mutenerwa, Munashe Muzambi, J. Tanatswa Mujingi, Ho Muzondo, Varaizo Danielle Tanatswa Namo, who is a recipient of the POSB Prize for the best undergraduate student in banking and finance. She receives a shield. Ruvimbo Nuruza, Nanette Tawonga Chiuta Piri, Love Peace Munyaradzi Rugube, Namatiraishe Mufaro Tinago, Blessing Mukai Watungwa, Tavonga Gerald Shanje. Bachelor of Business Studies in Management, Conventional. Walter Bento Kasambe, Con Muteb Falon, Nicholas Kayij Irung, Kudakwashe Malin Marvelous Kajese. Kudakwashe is a recipient of the Zimbabwe Insurance Brokers Prize for the most improved undergraduate student in management. Kudakwashe receives cash. Detend Hugo Kangaj, Walter Elba Moises, Cakes Gauthier Mojing. Continuing education, Pamela Marapira, Bachelor of Business Studies Honors in Management, Conventional. Deborah Kalala Alonge. Deborah is a recipient of the Global Papers Private Limited Prize for Best Innovative Undergraduate Student in the Department of Business Sciences. She receives cash. Golden Peacock Villa Hotel Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Marketing Management, Department of Business Sciences. She will receive a floating trophy plus a hotel voucher. Stewart Bank Private Limited Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Deborah will receive cash. Amanda Nolusindiso Chikwanda, Tinei Shadrach Chimutanda, Cheryl Tinashe Chitukuta, Rutendo Diana Chiwaridzo, Viola Denere, Rumbidzai Mandina, Rumbidzo Marwisa, Ngoye Sepora Monga, Dumb Yav Nathan, Nyumbazi Sharon Ngwata, Isabel Feva Nyirongo, Tinashe Patika, Vasco Marcos Kwesuso, Sivongile Sitole. Sivongile is also the recipient of the Vice Chancellor's Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Management. She will receive cash. Vice Chancellor's Community Services Award for Best Undergraduate Student who has made a substantial contribution to community. She will receive cash. Nichols Diamond Insurance Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Business Studies. She will receive cash. The Old Mutual Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Business Studies. She will receive a floating trophy plus cash. And the Zimbabwe Insurance Brokers Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Management. Sivongile will receive cash. Duwen Tawuya, Marcus Zhou. Continuing Education, Tinashe Ray Chagonda, Taurai Sandra Chinyerere. Bachelor of Business Studies Honors in Marketing, Gakudzwe Tamari Chitoa, Kundai Miranda Magaza. Kundai is a recipient of the Vice Chancellor's Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Marketing. She will receive cash. Concrete Masters Private Limited Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Research Project, CBPLG. She will receive cash. The CBZ Holdings Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Marketing in the Department of Business Sciences. She will receive a floating trophy plus cash. The Schweppes Zimbabwe Limited Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Marketing. She will receive cash. Zimbabwe Insurance Brokers Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Marketing, Department of Business Sciences. She will receive cash. Cicero Decio Afonso Agostino Manuel, Madrina Namukanzie, Joyce Hilda Ndagire. She is a recipient of the Zimbabwe Insurance Brokers Prize for the Most Improved Undergraduate Student in Marketing. Joyce will receive cash. Bachelor of Science Honors in Economics, Euphrasia Deserina Benedito Mairos Almeida. Webster Walia. Webster is the recipient of the Best Undergraduate Male Student in Economics. Webster receives cash. Panashe Chawatama, Jovite Hatungimana. She is a recipient of 2 prizes, the Vice Chancellor's Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Economics. She receives cash, and the Nichols Diamond Insurance Prize for the Best Undergraduate Female Student in Economics. She receives cash. Patrick Banze Nkimba Museka. Ruvimbo Zanele Shoko, Bachelor of Science Honors in Public Administration and Management. Moises Armando de Almeida Agostino. Bridget Rumbidzai Beremauru. Tarisai Messi Chakamba. Tarisai is a recipient of the Vice Chancellor's Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Public Administration and Management. Tarisai receives cash. Melissa Chamboko. Shalin Makanaka Chapungu. Eustachius Chateuka. Ropafadzo Michelle Chibanda. Cynthia Chikojo. Vimbai Natalie Chimuka. Josien Ishimwe. Andre Faustino Jao. Abigail Vimbai Kaplan. Faith Sabina Mamwadi. Yemurai Mutesha. Ngoye Deborah Muzinga. Thelma Rufaro Nare. Motoba Rebecca Ndala. Sarah Kudakwashe Ngwenya. Kalubi Thelga Daniel Ndambwe. Mona Lisa Siriza Nyabereka. Walter Euclides Goncalves Paiva, Kavu Mwambo Richard, Ashley Tapua Sitole. Department of Computer Science and Computer Information Systems, Bachelor of Science Honors in Computer Information Systems, Conventional, Tafadzwa Aubrey Aaron, Kudzaishe Bepete, Tashinga Patricia Chandiwana, Michelle Zeka Chikuse, Melissa Awakiwe Chingua, Mona Lisa Awande Chingua, Tinashe Manson Kingsley Chinjekure, Agnes Wadzanai Chuchu. Agnes graduates with first class and is a recipient of the following prizes: Vice Chancellor's Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Computer Information Systems. Agnes receives cash. E-Machines Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in the Bachelor of Computer Information Systems. She receives an HP DeskJet 1115 printer. TEL 1 Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Computer Information Systems. Agnes receives a laptop. Cidelio Alberto da Silva, Farai GT, Tadiwa Nashe Tobias Wara, Tafadzwa Michael Mawarire, Rumbidzai Mazani, Leroy Jason Panashe Moonga, Teurai Mugabe, Kumbirai Bernard Muwati. Kumbirai is a recipient of the TEL 1 Prize for the third Best Undergraduate Student in Computer Information Systems. Kumbirai receives a laptop. Nicole Muchkasira, Walter Godswill Nanda, Mufaro Nduna Pika, Tafadzwa Deidre Sangweme. Tafadzwa is a recipient of the Guardian Security Prize for the Best Undergraduate Female Student with Outstanding Performance in Sport. She receives cash. Michael Simbi, Shitav Yav Fiston, Michaela Panashe Utete. Michaela graduates with first class and is a recipient of the TEL 1 Prize for the second Best Undergraduate Student in Computer Information Systems. Michaela receives a laptop. Bachelor of Science Honors in Computer Information Systems Online. Anna Coletta Gono, Anna Muchanyukwa, Godfrey Tatenda Mudiwa Ziso. Bachelor of Science Honors in Computer Science Conventional. Ronald Amana Aimanosi Abel Obi. Thierry Shumbusho Barata. Gloria Chulu, Jessica Paidamoyo Dambanemuya, Genesis David Zua Domingos, Lambert Habonimana, Ruvimbo Delia Hakata, Patrick Muyali Kasereka, Tapiwa Nashe Ronaldo Takudzwa Madimuta, Stephen Mayenda, Blessing Maposa, Eben Takudzwa Mapurisa, Ruvarashe Michelle Mubvumbi, Kapend Remy Mwai, Nicodemus Anesu Dagurwa. Nicodemus is a recipient of the TEL 1 Prize for the second Best Undergraduate Student in Computer Science, and Nicodemus receives a laptop. Daniel Ilungandai. Daniel is a recipient of the following: the Vice Chancellor's Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Computer Sciences. He receives cash. The AU Alumni DRC Chapter, Best Undergraduate Congolese Student at AU with the highest CGPA. He receives cash. The E-Machines Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Computer Science. He will receive an HP DeskJet 1115 printer. The Schweppes Zimbabwe Limited Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Engineering. He will receive cash. And the TEL 1 Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Computer Science. He will receive a laptop. Kabanje Numbi Pascal.
Mr. Chancellor say, I now invite Professor Sungano Marakurwa, the Dean of the College of Health, Agriculture and Natural Sciences, to present his graduates to you.
Mr. Chancellor say, with the authority of the Africa University Board of Directors and Senate, I have the honor to present to you candidates whom Senate has certified as worthy to receive the Master of Science in Agribusiness, Master of Science in Crop Production, and the Master of Public Health degree, Post-Basic Bachelor of Science Honors in Nursing, Bachelor of Health Sciences Management Honors, Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Science Honors, Bachelor of Science Honors in Agribusiness Management, and the Bachelor of Science Honors in Agriculture and Natural Resources.
College of Health, Agriculture and Natural Sciences, Department of Agricultural Sciences, Bachelor of Science in Agriculture and Natural Resources. Chibombo Ngandu Clinton, Department of Environmental Studies and Natural Resources, Bachelor of Science in Natural Resources Management. Musum Kapend Alien, Bridget Kamana. Okito Salumu Marcel. Okito is a recipient of the Vice Chancellor's Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Natural Resources. You receive cash. Zimbabwe Insurance Brokers Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Environmental Studies and Natural Resources. You will also receive cash. Department of Public Health and Nursing Sciences, Bachelor of Health Services Management Honors. Tanatsiwa Monalisa Chitsama, Rufaro Hazel Gandanga, Feza Dokas Kalenga, Emis Kahole Kaloa. Emis is a recipient of the Vice Chancellor's Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Health Services Management. She receives cash, and the CIMAS Prize for Best Undergraduate Student in Health Services Management. She will receive a floating trophy plus cash. Bagabo John Kumwami, Persistence Mashandika, Chancel Mujinga Ngowe, Farai Timothy Rukobo. Post-Basic Bachelor of Science Honors in Nursing, Conventional. Blessing Clement, Martha Fatoma, Beauty Jambaya, Judith Kavenga, Tendai Serere. Post-Basic Bachelor of Science Honors in Nursing, Continuing Education, Susan Chaya, Sharon Chikona Mombe, Nyarai Ellen Chimwala, Kuziva Jacqueline Guja, Fungai Gwata, Muchao Najani, Vincent Kareko, Adiola Machengete, Maria Takunda Machingauta, Gladys Sophia Madenga, Makumbi Magara, Rufaro Falin Marau, Lucia Bimbisai Masuka, Lizzie Sibusisiwe Muhlanga, Lesi Mulauzi, Rumbidzai Muchamiri, Pauline Mudamburi, Rutendo Mukoyi, Anna Mundanga, Fortunate Munanzi. Fortunate is a recipient of the Vice Chancellor's Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in the Post-Basic Bachelor of Science Honors in Nursing. She will receive cash. The Best Undergraduate Student in the Department of Public Health and Nursing Sciences. She will also receive cash. And the CIMAS Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in the Post-Basic Bachelor of Science Honors in Nursing. She will receive a floating trophy plus cash. Diana Munyezi, Patience Karen Musasa, Jane Mushayademo, Mizari Shiwai Muza, Benenia Muzula, Audrey Sheshe. Department of Biomedical and Laboratory Sciences, Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Sciences Honors, Lovejoy Bayiwa. Graduating with a first-class degree is Leila Spelile Umira. Leila is a recipient of the following prizes: Vice Chancellor's Prize, valedictorian, cash plus miniature shield, Best Undergraduate Student in Health Sciences Programs, cash, Best Undergraduate Student in CHANS, cash, AU Alumni DRC Chapter Prize, Best Undergraduate Student with the highest CGPA, she will receive cash, CIMAS Prize, Best Undergraduate Student in Health Programs, she will receive a floating trophy plus cash, Cluster Diagnostics Private Limited Prize, Medical Laboratory Prizes, Best Undergraduate Student in Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Sciences, she will receive a shield plus cash. Emeritus Reinsurance Company Prize for the Best All-Round Undergraduate Student at Africa University, she will receive cash plus shield and a trophy. Harvest Medical and Scientific Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student in Laboratory Sciences, Laila will receive cash. Mutare Garment Manufacturers Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student with the highest CGPA, she will receive a shield plus a ceremonial dress. Nichols Diamond Insurance Prize for the Best Undergraduate Student, she will receive a floating trophy plus cash. Tanyarazwa Vanessa Chabuka, Tanaka Lisa Chafesuka, Tanatswa Chenga. Graduating with the first-class degree is Mercy Kudzai Chinamasa. She is a recipient of the following prizes: Concrete Masters Private Limited Prize for the Best Overall Student in Industrial Attachment for Public Health Programs, Mercy will receive cash. Flow Cytometry Hematology Prize in honor of Dr. M.E. Chichko for the Best Undergraduate Student in Hematology, Mercy will receive cash plus a floating trophy. Nichols Diamond Insurance Prize for the Most Disciplined Undergraduate Student at Africa University, Mercy will receive cash. Tafara Boniface Chiripanura, who is a recipient of the Guardian Security Prize for the Best Undergraduate Male Student with Outstanding Performance in Sport, Tafara will receive cash. David Leon Chitombo, Jgamanda Citra Ferreira Domingos, Ailencia da Felix Bento Francisco, Melissa Guishiri, Mosha Amani Huruma, Lumbala Patrick Ilunga, Yahaya Ishaku, who is a recipient of the Vice Chancellor's Community Services Award for the Best Undergraduate Student who has made a substantial contribution to the community. Yahaya will receive cash. Panashe Edlin Mafue, who is a recipient of the Menard Mutenerwa Prize for the Best Student in Blood Bank. She will receive cash. Tinotenda Abigail Mandemwa, Justice Manando, Tatenda Valerie Manyara, Tinotenda Lydia Manyore, Maxine Ndaka Maroa, Rachel Mashevedze, Sidela Titi Moyo, Sibonginkosi Mpofu, Nyasha Mupfukura, Natalie Musiarira, Ellen Lee Rudorwashe Muchkambizi, Chiedza Hilda Nago, Isabel Antonio Ngunza, who is also a recipient of the Angolan Embassy Prize for being the best undergraduate Angolan student with the highest CGPA. She will receive cash. And also for being the best female Angolan graduating student, Isabel will receive cash. Nonjabulo Nemankumbeni Nkambule, Nyasha Nyamukachi, Tatenda Rujidzo. Graduating with the first class degree is Trish Tina Sumani, who is a recipient of the Menard Mutenerwa Prize for being the best student in Blood Bank. She will receive cash. Rujeko Tatenda Shova, Andile Sikoliwetaka, Brendan Zengeya.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now invite Professor Graham Menelik, the Dean of the College of Social Sciences, Theology, Humanities, and Education, to present his graduates to you.
With the authority of the Africa University Board of Directors and Senate, I have the honor to present to you candidates whom Senate has certified as worthy to receive the postgraduate diploma in education, the Master of Education in Educational Technology Studies, the Master of Science in Child and Family Studies, Master of Science in Child Rights and Childhood Studies, Bachelor of Social Science Honors in Psychology, Bachelor of Science Honors in Social Work, Bachelor of Science Honors in International Relations, Bachelor of Arts Honors in English and Communication Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Humanities, Bachelor of Arts in Humanities and Social Sciences, Bachelor of Divinity Honors, Bachelor of Divinity, Bachelor of Arts with Education Honors, Bachelor of Science with Education Honors, and the Bachelor of Education 2-year program.
College of Social Sciences, Theology, Humanities, and Education. Department of Social Sciences, Bachelor of Social Sciences Honors in Psychology. Fernando Douglas Trigo Aguar. Fernando is a recipient of the Angolan Embassy Prize for being the best performing Angolan undergraduate student on attachment. Fernando will receive cash. Simbarashe Takura Chimoga. Graduating with the first class degree is Nontikelelo Prudence Dube. Nelson Emmanuel Dlamini. Nyarai Vanessa Gwangwara. Gamuchirai Vanessa Kusangaya. Tanyaradzwa Kolia Machona. Malvin Kudzai Maenzanise. Belshaza Tanaka Mayereka. Laura Ruvimbo Majongwe. Andrea Lindile Tariro Makina. Graduating with a first class degree is Ashley Janet Mandonda. Ashley is also a recipient of the following prizes: the Vice Chancellor's Prize for being the best undergraduate student in the Social Science program. Ashley will receive cash. The Schweppes Zimbabwe Limited Prize for being the best undergraduate student in psychology. Ashley will receive cash. The Shepherd Muchinguri Memorial Prize for being the best undergraduate female student in psychology. Ashley will receive a floating shield plus cash. Tatenda Masuku. Anesu Mugabe. Tapiwa Duncan Mupaso. Simbarashe Akudzweishe Mutokoti. Simbarashe is a recipient of the Shepherd Muchinguri Memorial Prize for being the best undergraduate male student in psychology. Simbarashe will receive a floating shield plus cash. Rumbidzai Millicent Muzire. Karen Paidamoyo Marindira. Teresa Rumbidzai Ngoro. Tabiso Muziwetu Ntambeni. Anna Mudiwa Wodo. Tabet Tsuro. Bernice Celia Wasia. Bachelor of Science Honors in Social Work. Fiona Kudzaishe Chakawa. Tanyaradzwa Michelle Chidavayenzi. Rufaro Princess Chinamora. Rutendo Rachel Katikiti, Evelyn Nyengeterai Madimuta, Constance Shamaine Tinotenda Mandaza, Varaidzo Faith Matika. Graduating with the first-class degree is Ngonidzashe Simbi, and Ngonidzashe is a recipient of the following prizes: the Vice-Chancellor's Community Services Award for being the best undergraduate student who has made substantial contributions to community. Ngonidzashe will receive cash. The AKG Scholarship Foundation Prize in honor of the late Alaric Kudzai Gotora for being the best undergraduate student in social sciences research with good moral standing and integrity. Ngonidzashe will receive a floating trophy. Concrete Masters Private Limited Prize for being the best graduating student in social work. Ngonidzashe will receive cash. Melissa Tangi, Kudzai Wuta Warova, Bachelor of Social Sciences Honors in Sociology. Maureen Madalo Banda, Cleodis Juru, Wabwana Dan Kabila, Institute of Theology and Religious Studies, Bachelor of Divinity Honors. Danjuma Bade, Joseph Charinge, Eni Kaseke. Graduating with the first-class degree is Evelyn Esther Koka, who is also a recipient of the UMC Mutasa Nyanga District Prize for being the best female undergraduate student in Ministerial Studies. Evelyn will receive cash. Isaac Clinton Serinjogi. Isaac is a recipient of the Vice-Chancellor's Prizes for being the best undergraduate student in the Institute of Theology and Religious Studies. He will receive cash. He is the best undergraduate student in CSSTHE. He will receive cash. Isaac is also the recipient of the Chancellor Emeritus Prize, Bishop Emilio J.M. and Mrs. M. D. Cavao Prize for being the best undergraduate student in church history. Isaac will receive cash. Isaac is also the recipient of the Print Solutions and Stationers Prize for being the best undergraduate student in the Institute of Theology and Religious Studies. He will receive a floating trophy plus cash. He is also the recipient of the Ruwa United Methodist Church Circuit Prize for being the best graduating student in the Bachelor of Divinity. Isaac will receive cash. Bachelor of Divinity. Matamba Samuel Sesa, Costa Nicolo Cristovao, Nkonko Lumbwe Emmanuel, Antonio Mateus Francisco, Fanelson Damio Goncalves, Pakaya Nima Kachak, Artemisa Zephanias Laquin, Akoka Sesa Lodiha, Jennifer Lorenzo Louis, Marian Mashita, Amos Mashoza, Tansia Moseka Nzoni, Nono Mufuka, Martin Kapia Mukole, Esai Mutaba Pemba Moto, Mikua Makanga Raphael. Department of Humanities, Bachelor of Science Honors in International Relations. Chantel Rutendo Bakasa, Vanessa Levin Chitsonga. Graduating with the first-class degree is Atwa Nzobo, who is a recipient of the Ambassador Kolisile David Liwayo Memorial Prize for being the best final year student in International Relations Program. You will receive a floating trophy and a cash prize. Plus, the Concrete Masters Private Limited Prize for being the best graduating student in International Relations. Atwell will receive cash. Kudzai Fiyanda, Nicole Tsitsi Kahari, Tatienda Wilbert Manduopera, Tariro Michelle Mandombo, Tadiwa Nashe MacDonald Maunganidzi, Woga Ishe Theophilus Nyahore, Natasha Virginia Nyatanga, Colin Anesu Rinemota, Tanatswa Joseph Taibu, Bridget Tapera, Bachelor of Arts Honours in English and Communication Studies. Graduating with a first-class degree is Natasha Chikondi Chimponda. Natasha is a recipient of the following prizes: Vice Chancellor's prizes for being the best undergraduate student in the Department of Humanities. She will receive cash. Best undergraduate student in English. She will receive cash. Best undergraduate student in CSSTHE. Natasha will receive cash. Natasha is also the recipient of the Machakanja Family Prize in honor of the late Dr. Isaac Machakanja for being the best undergraduate student in Introduction to Linguistics. Natasha will receive a floating trophy plus cash. Joel Kalowa Kumwimbwa, Gerald Tinotenda Muchairo, Tariro Michelle Muzua, Hassa Malanji Priscilla. Bachelor of Arts in Humanities and Social Sciences, Mwamba Dala Fabrice. Department of Education, Bachelor of Arts with Education Honours, 4-year program. Franz Anthony Adam, Chelsea Tinomudaishe Benny, Peter Mwamba. Graduating with a first-class degree is Penias Piri. Graduating with another first-class degree is Lisa Mary Gray Star. Best undergraduate student in the 4-year Bachelor of Arts with Education program. She'll receive cash. Bere Brothers prizes for being the best undergraduate student in music. She'll receive cash. Best undergraduate student in educational foundations in the 4-year program. She will receive cash. The KF Photo Studios Prize for being the best undergraduate student in the Department of Education. She will receive a floating shield plus cash. Beta Prize for being the best undergraduate student in educational foundations in the 4-year program. Lisa will receive cash. Evelyn Tembo, Bachelor of Science with Education Honours, 4-year program. Kabei Esther Mujing, who is a recipient of the Vice Chancellor's Prize for being the best undergraduate student in the 4-year Bachelor of Science with Education degree program. Kabei will receive cash. Devi Levi Mwanza, Bachelor of Science with Education 3-year program, continuing education. Tariro Geraldine Chivaura, Thelma Hanyani, Aida Makunike, Patience Marimbire, Kuziwa Kwamwari Patricia Refu, Irene Simango. Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Education, 3-year program. Simbarashe Abu, Evermore Chibanda, Margaret Omega Darare, Conferencia Burayai Maroa, Francisca Nyamande, Sekai Rupere, Sheki Sadi. Graduate programs: College of Business, Peace, Leadership and Governance, Department of Business Sciences, Executive Master of Business Administration. Marjorie Chakandina Kira, Petronella Chimoto, Brenda Joy Liwayo, Ivan Tembani Gabela, Malon Gatula, Simbarashe Agricola Geja, Faith Rutendo Goneso, Munyaradzi Atiendi, Sara Kabiseni, Tawanda Kamutatari, Yvonne Kanjanda, Ngonidzashe Katsamba, Tinashe Albert Kurea, Olet Kuanda, Silas Pakaisai Mafaune, Blessing Kudakwashe Maembe, Shingai Ruvimbo Makande, Josephine Makuku. Josephine is a recipient of the Karonga Sisters Prize for being the best graduate female student in entrepreneurship and innovation. Josephine will receive cash plus a floating trophy. Linda Tapiwa Mamini. Farai Masuko. Farai is a recipient of the Mutare Garment Manufacturers Prize for being the best student with the highest CGPA in EMBA in the Department of Business Sciences. Farai receives a floating trophy. Patience Chido Mawango. Rudo Mawarire. Tendai Mauye. Emilda Mugoyo. Leah Mugwagwa, Cassandra Vaida Mukono, Biola Musemwa, Joyce Mutambiranwa, Leonard Mutasa, Elizabeth Rumbidzai Mwafundu, Duduzile Tembinkosi Nglebwa, Janet Tafara Nyakunengwa, Greta Mwanyara Saurombe, Faye Tinashe Shara, Lydia Paidamoyo Shinyira, Terence Tawodzera, Vigilant Zuze, Master in Public Sector Management, Aaron Banda, Senzeni Irene Kapanga, Esteri Madavu, Bonus Ndakurirwa, Institute of Peace, Leadership and Governance, Master in Peace, Leadership and Governance. Wycliffe Abuta Arisi, Farai Denim Klanga, Otis Razemba. Master in Public Policy and Governance, Conventional, Olga Dagrasha Chiludzo, Blessing Zobo, Delphine Iradukunda, Clarice Ndaya Kadima, Arnold Japheth Kamdem Penlap, Patricia Chantel Madenga. Patricia is a recipient of the Professor Pamela Machakanja Prize for being the best graduate female student in Peace Studies, IPLG. Patricia will receive cash plus a floating trophy. Muchafangei Calvin Makwakwami. Muchafangei is a recipient of the Berry Brothers Prize in honor of Bishop Emilio J.M.D. Calvao for being the best graduate student who has demonstrated leadership potential. For the Institute of Business, Peace, Leadership and Governance, Muchafangei will receive cash plus a special book on or by a prominent leader. Muchafangei is also a recipient of the Shola Manuel Chupikai Prize for being the best student in the Master in Peace, Leadership and Governance and Master in Public Policy and Governance programs. Muchafangei will receive cash. Gracias Nyasha Mutanguro. Rita Francisco Quisengel, Master in Public Policy and Governance, Continuing Education. Michael Aruberito, Irene Buzai, Colin Nyasha Chawatama, Jillian Chinzete, Wellington Chiwiro, Vimbai Bridget Hale, Koliwe Majama, Tavengwa Makumucha, Trust Mangoma, Togarepi Zivai Metu, Hazel Chipo Mutlanga, Simon Musariarwa Mukwaya, Emmanuel Munyama, Alpha Ndlovu, Henry Ndlovu, Musekiwa Margaret Nyahoda, Anthony Simbarashe Taruvinga, Kenny Shalom Ayaode, Emmanuel Agiemang Badu, Jamus Pinky Bana, Dimple Bonolo, Leticia Abla Degbe, Sonia Cristina de Purificao Tavares Duarte, Lucy Rachel Mumbi Gitua, Dorothy Habada, Antonio Fafetin Jacob, Ishmaila Jalo, Mominatu Jalo, Kasule Yosef, Garmai Koboy, Nyasha Naomi Kuture, Solomon Omwoma Lugasi, Eunice Wachera Maina, Shelter Majoa. Shelter is a recipient of the Concrete Masters Private Limited Prize for being the best graduate student in Research Project CBPLG. Shelter will receive cash. She will also receive the World Intellectual Property Organization Prize for being the second best graduate student in Intellectual Property Studies. Shelter will receive cash. Noreen Rose Makoni, Poncho Mampuru, Plaxades Chiedza Marimo, Benevenu Mizero, Tabiso Mofuama, Evans Talent Moyo, Gladys Moyo. Gladys is a recipient of the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization Prize for being the best graduate student who has demonstrated leadership potential in the Master in Intellectual Property. Gladys will receive cash. She is also the recipient of the World Intellectual Property Organization Prize for being the third best graduate student in Intellectual Property Studies, IPLG. Gladys will receive cash. Petronella Musarurwa, John Mutonono, Kenneth Nuwagaba. Kenneth is a recipient of the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization Prize for being the best student in Masters in Intellectual Property Studies. Kenneth will receive cash. He is also the recipient of the World Intellectual Property Organization Prize for being the best graduate student in Intellectual Property Studies. He will receive cash. Milos Nokwara, Deidre Ngatendwe Nduzo, Messi Oma Odiambo, Sivongile Pfukwa, Moses Rioba Range, Unopa Brian Tefo Rapulang, Alexander Saki Shiake, Sinisani Mfan Fikile Tfwala, Alexis Tuizere, Master of Science in International Relations and Diplomacy, Leonard Kamwendo, Sarah Donna Maulana, Ruth Nedziwe, Master in Human Rights, Peace and Development, Vincent Tendai Chaeruka, Patience Chapuma, Belinda Nitsai Chindove, Samuel Gwenzi, Tafadzwa Kudakwashe Kamidza, Tinashe Malvin Madamombe, Pamela Magu, Kitsepile Kibi Mulea, Brighton Musevenzo, Dorothy Nyakujka. Dorothy is a recipient of the Dr. B. Kazadi Prize in honor of Dr. Boniface Kabongo Ilunga for being the best graduate female student in the Master in Human Rights, Peace and Development, IPLG. She will receive cash. Noel Rupanga, Phyllis Tena, Elizabeth Polang Tswana, Sandra Bunganai, College of Health, Agriculture and Natural Sciences, Department of Agricultural Sciences, Master of Science in Agribusiness, Continuing Education, Harare. Philip Goredema, Julius Guni, Nyasha Sharon Kariramombe, Melody Ngonyamo, Precious Ngulube, Zorai Varipasi Mudavanu, Ona Mutambara, Rex Courage Sungai, Master of Science in Crop Production, Continuing Education, Mutare. Shadrach Chingombe, Ronica Dube, Lodane Hortensio, Reyai Mafararikwa, Edgar Mubakure, Michael Mwatika, Nyasha Muchianga, Justice Sanangurai, Master of Philosophy in Crop Production, Continuing Education, Mutare. O'Brien Tengerai Kupeta. Department of Health Sciences, Master of Public Health, Agnes Chibango, Norman Chikonzo, Cleopatra Chikumba, Farai Chikupe, Brooke Tawanda Chimoto, Patience Gapara, Adrian Kwangwa, Trimo Makwiranzou, Dadirai Manyarara, Edson Tawanda Marambire, Fadzai Caroline Masiambiri, Tafataona Mativenga. Tafataona is the recipient of the Bishop and Mrs. Ralph Dodge Prize for being the best student in MPH program, and Tafataona will receive cash plus autographed book prize. Tafataona will also receive the SEMAS Prize for being the best graduating student in MPH program, and he will receive a floating trophy plus cash. Itai Ranjisi Bereko, Dorcas Mugugu, Maxwell Joshua Moyoweshumba, Patience Mirirai Mushaike, Nonhlanhla Ndlovu, Philpa Nyamapeni, Munyaradzi Malvin Pako, Ruvimbo Shumba, Tabanei Tangwena. College of Social Sciences, Theology, Humanities, and Education, Department of Social Sciences, Master of Science in Child Rights and Childhood Studies, Georgina Chanaiwa, Tafadzwa Chikaka, Nyasha Akurina Chikuvire, Frank Chinamo, Christela Chinyepe, Valerie Maslin Chiviru, Ella Rutendo Choruma, Linda Itima, Yvonne Kokore, Denzel Kudakwashe Kute, Judith Netai Madzokere, Loveness Mahachi Mutandagai, Joyce Chipo Makoni, Clifford Mashiri, Betty Mboto, Tinashe Machikano, Nyaradzo Cute Lily Mudzana, Rosina Mugadza, Philippa Mukoi, Nayome Mukudu, Lillian Musimwa, Nyasha Mutemachani, Progress Nangati, Evans Ngorima, Beulah Ruparanganda, Hoshia Sitole. Master of Child and Family Studies, Mwamuka Liberty Mahea. Department of Education, Master of Education in Educational Technology Studies, Tinashe Godwin Chikwanda, Chipo Salom Chimoto, Christino Ray Chegetai Chibeza, Valentine Ngonidzashe Chiadzwa, Mary Chido Dzimati, Tafara Maguta, Francisca Mandihlare, Joseph Bulo. Institute of Theology and Religious Studies, Master of Arts in Religious Studies, Gertrude Chifamba, Vitalis Chiromba. Vitalis is a recipient of the GMAT Consultants Private Limited Prize for being the best master's student graduating with the highest CGPA in College of Social Sciences, Theology, Humanities, and Education. Vitalis will receive cash. He is also the recipient of the Mutare Garment Manufacturers Prize for being the best master's student with the highest CGPA. Vitalis will receive a floating trophy or shield plus a ceremonial dress. Mpanga Kamuze Emmanuel, Tendai Makono, Matthias Marinyame, Ophias Maviza, Tafadzwa Elizabeth Musona, Tambudzai Daina Matikiti, Pauline Nyamudzura, God knows Risina Modzi, Claude Takundwa, Christina Rudo Tendengu.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now invite the Director of Ceremony, Mr. Liberty Machona, to proceed to the next segment of the program.
The time that we're all waiting for has arrived. The time for the conferment of degrees to the class of 2021. I therefore invite all those participating in the proceedings from the comfort of their homes or from wherever you are to engage yourselves fully in this important activity we are about to partake in.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now have the honor to request that you confer degrees, academic distinctions, and the other awards of Africa University to the candidates who are published in the graduation handbook for these awards as approved by the University Senate and the Board of Directors.
By virtue of authority vested in me and that of the Board of Directors of Africa University, I hereby confer upon you, individually and severally, the degrees, academic distinctions, and the others awards of Africa University for which you have been presented before me.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to request the graduates to recite the Declaration of Allegiance for which they are required to make upon being conferred with Africa University degrees, academic distinctions, and other awards before they are formally inducted into the Africa University Alumni Association.
We, the new graduate of Africa University, do hereby, severally and individually,
declare our commitment to support the development of Africa University
and to assist its students in their scholarly pursuits,
preparation for leadership roles, and lifelong learning in a contemporary society.
We further promise to do all that we can to uplift the standard of this institution
in the areas of academia, sports, culture, student recruitment, and welfare.
So help me God.
In accordance with the provisions of the Africa University Charter, Section 19, subsection 1, you are hereby inducted individually and severally into the Africa University Alumni Association.
A pleasant afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol observed. My name is Laila Bumira, and it is indeed a pleasure and great honor to be expressing myself before you this beautiful day on behalf of the graduating class of 2021. Time really passed in the blink of an eye. I believe for most of us it feels like yesterday when we first stepped onto the Africa Invest campus. We came here as blank canvases without a hint or idea of how we would turn out. All we had were our dreams and a willingness to be better. It has been a challenging and demanding journey, at times with endless reading sessions that deprived us of sleep and leisure. We experienced exhausting times in order to meet the deadlines of our assignments. Tests and exams were just nightmares we had to endure. We felt intensified pressure as we worked on our research papers, and I'm sure we can agree that waking up on a Monday morning was never an easy task. Despite all this, today we emerge as champions. We also recall the jovial and fun moments. My ears remember very well the glamorous singing of the Africa University Choir. We enjoyed ourselves through Miss and Misty AU ceremonies, the color run, cultural nights, the sports competitions, and other community building activities of the vibrant Africa University. Africa University was our home for the past few years, and we were taught more than books could. This graduation has shown us how capable we are of accomplishing our goals when we commit ourselves to them. We came with dreams and aspirations. Today we are living with even bigger ambitions. We all had different backgrounds and cultures, but we are living as the proud graduates of the same university with a common goal of being successful and investing in Africa's future. Allow me to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to you all who made this day memorable. We convey our sincere and humble appreciation to the Chancellor Bishop Joao Domingos, the members of the Board of Directors, the Acting Vice-Chancellor Professor Mageto, the Interim Deputy Vice-Chancellor, the Registrar, members of the Senate, Deans of Colleges, Heads of Department and Units, academic staff, senior administrative staff, our support staff, and the Student Representative Council. Thank you for providing a conducive and learning environment, for your dedication and exceptional work, and for your patience and time spent imparting knowledge to us. We are indeed your products, and your planning and leadership are now an undeniable part of our own fabric. May I also acknowledge the work that was done by the late Vice-Chancellor, Professor Furusa. May his soul continue to rest in peace. My heartfelt gratitude is also extended to our guest of honor, Dr. Michael Ugweke. We thank you for your time, for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend this event. I'm also thankful to the various companies and institutions of higher learning here represented, and our valued sponsors who continue to partner with this great institution. We appreciate you very much. Today also belongs to our support systems, our parents, guardians, spouses, families, religious congregations, friends, and colleagues. We say thank you for your unwavering support and encouragement as we sailed through the journey. To the organizers of this memorable event, we say job well done. We would not have made it without you. My heart bursts with pride as I congratulate and thank my fellow graduates. This day, our efforts and achievements have been recognized. We fought a good fight, and like stars, may we forever shine. I say kudos to the Medical Lab Science class. You are a great team. Above all, I thank God Almighty who made us reach this far. As I'm here today, I have mixed feelings. The feeling of relief for being graduated and a heavy heart for leaving this amazing institution. Nevertheless, I believe a greater role awaits us in shaping the future. And today we grab that opportunity with hope and courage. As we take our different life pathways today onwards, let it be noted, marked and known that we are from Africa University, and that Africa will now receive its long overdue solutions because we have come. Let's uplift the spirit of Ubuntu which has been instilled in us, making a difference all the way. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today. Let us begin. May God bless you all.
We've now come to the end of our ceremony. From your alma mater, once again, congratulations to you all on reaching this significant milestone. Family, friends, donors, and partners, thank you for participating in this year's graduation ceremony and for your continued support of Africa University. Before we dissolve this assembly, we will have benediction.
And now for in thee, thy name, O Lord, we go, our daily labors to pursue, thee only thee resolve to know, in all that we say, think, and do. And now may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit abide with us all, for now and evermore. Amen.
By virtue of authority vested in me, and that of the Board of Directors of Africa University, I hereby declare this graduation ceremony for the conferment of degrees, academic distinctions, and other awards of Africa University closed.
Sa